the UWI Guild Debates 2021. Of course, this is part one of part two. This evening, we're going to be hearing the manifestos of the hall chair and the deputy hall chairpersons from the respective halls of residence. Now, we have to give you an idea of what to expect. The hall chairs and deputies have a time ranging from 2 minutes to 5 minutes. They are expected to speak within that time. And after the groups would have spoken, then there is a question and answer period. We will give you some more information on the question and answer in a little while. But we were talking a little bit about this whole idea of the times and speeches for the deputy and the hall chairman. We have a few sort of notices to give you so that we have a smooth flow. If it is that you're watching, and the link would have been provided via YouTube, if you're watching via YouTube, we ask that candidates or persons who have an interest in candidates, if you wish to post questions to them, please do so in the YouTube chat. That will be transcribed to us, and we will deliver your questions to the candidates of your choice. Also, persons posting questions, we're going to ask you, please listen carefully. Persons who are posting questions must first indicate your name, your full name, so that we can identify you as we ask the question. So persons who are posting questions, first provide your name and then the question. When we do put that question to the candidates, we will identify you and ask the question as well. Now, please bear in mind the times that you've been given to speak. Failure to adhere to that, there's a timekeeper here as well, and failure to acknowledge that, we are going to be forced using administrative privilege to end your speech. We don't want that, so please bear in mind the time frames that you have to speak, and we will give you the requisite consideration. That said, welcome to the debates. Welcome to a spirited and an exciting experience. We ask for good sportsmanship, right? As much as we are clashing in wills, as much as, of course, it's contentious and full of passion, we do expect at the university level, and of course, we are one UWI. We do expect respect among us, among the candidates. We have to exhibit the sort of leadership that is necessary. And so we're going to start by leading, okay? So we will ensure that our comments are good comments that are going to be enlightening, comments that will elevate, because that is important in this space, and comments that are also going to be encouraging for each and every one of us as well. Let's not be careful of how we may use language. Of course, some of these persons, if it is that they are doing so, will be scrubbed from the process, but we wouldn't want to have to expel you. That's not the whole purpose of this. So we would want the very best of behaviors from the candidates and behaviors from the supporters as well. That said, the order that has been provided so far, we're having the following positions speaking in this order. In case you have not been furnished with the timetable, let me provide them for you in terms of the order that would have been given to me. We have the hall chairman for ABC Hall, followed by the deputy. We have the hall chairman of AZ Preston Hall, followed by the deputy. We have the Chancellor Hall chairman, followed by the deputy. And each hall that I mentioned would be followed by the hall chair will be followed by the deputy. We have Elsa Leo-Rainey Hall. We have Irvine Hall. We then have Mary Seacole Hall. Rex Nettleford Hall. Taylor Hall, the Leslie Robinson Hall, and the George Elaine Halls. Those are the order that has been provided, and we will go through quickly just for you to have an idea of the speech times that would have been allocated from ABC Hall down to Chancellor Hall. And there may be a slight error. We will fix that shortly. Is the persons based on their based on their positions. Are they ready for the debates? ABC Hall, if you're here, could you just indicate?
We're here, we're ready.
Preston, could you just indicate by using the thumb icon or whichever the icon so we know that you're around? Preston Hall?
We're present. I did the thumb icon. I guess you're not seeing it.
Elsa Leo-Rainey Hall? Chancellor Hall? I'm not seeing a thumb icon for Chancellor. I take it Chancellor is not here yet?
Chancellor is ready.
Okay. Irvine Hall?
The Chancellor is here.
Okay. Irvine Hall?
Mute button, mute button.
Okay. Mary Seacole Hall?
Here, we're here.
Taylor Hall?
Yeah.
Rex Nettleford? Excellent. Leslie Robinson?
We're here.
George Elaine?
Here.
Here. Okay, excellent. At this time, opening the floor and to make official presentation for the ABC Hall, please make welcome the ABC Hall Chairman. The ABC Hall Chairman will be followed by the ABC, we'll go with the ABC Deputy Hall Chairman, followed by the ABC Hall Chairman. In that order, please make welcome the ABC Hall Chair. The ABC Deputy Hall Chair, rather. Okay, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you hear when I identify the groups that are coming? No? I was muted? Okay, just let me repeat for good measure. We are actually taking the first two presenters, the first two debaters, which is going to be the ABC Hall Deputy Hall Chair, followed by the ABC Hall Chairman. So candidates for the ABC Deputy Hall Chair position will go first, followed by candidates for the ABC Hall Chairman position. Please make welcome DeAndre Williams. Candidate DeAndre Williams.
Are you hearing me?
Could you be louder, please? We're hearing you, but you're very low.
Is it better now?
Yes, a little bit better now.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, you may.
Hello, Spartans. My name is Deandra Williams, and it is my pleasure to offer myself to be your new Chief Measure and Protector of Sparta.
However, I am asking you to trust me with the responsibility of being the voice that represents your needs for the upcoming academic year. In my 3 years at ABC, I have served in quite a number of leadership positions, chief among them being a block representative and currently your deputy hall chair. Over the past year, we have seen where the structure and the dynamic of our hall has changed drastically, and the Spartan community has been forced to adapt, readjust, and realign. This has left many feeling uncertain about the future of our hall. It has been an unpredictable year, however, the vision remains clear. In my capacity as Deputy Hall Chair, my primary focus has been on the welfare of our residents, especially those who work hard financially by the realities of the pandemic, as well as student development and creating a smooth transition for our first years into the university space. Going forward, I aim to continue building on the foundation that has been laid, and I intend to do that using the 3-point ABC continuity plan. We will continue to A, relentlessly advocate for the needs of our Spartans. B, build relationships with our Spartans who are on and off call to ensure that everyone is accounted for and represented. And C, create a space that is conducive to the holistic development of all our Spartans. We must remember that as Spartans, we are the equal of any man when we fight as individuals, but we surpass all other men when we fight together. So join the mission for a clear vision. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That was candidate DeAndre Williams. Of course, she's uncontested, and the reason you would have seen 2 minutes and excellently used time would have been because positions that are uncontested would have been given 2 minutes to speak, and persons who and positions that are contested would be given 5 minutes in which to speak. So we move to another uncontested post, which is the position of Hall Chairman for ABC Hall. Please make welcome the Hall Chairman candidate, Danae Hyatt, or the Hall Chairperson candidate, Danae Hyatt.
To my Spartans far and wide, near and dear, a pleasant evening to you all. Danae Hyatt is the name, and I am your Deputy Chief Major-elect from the mighty land of Sparta, the ABC Hall. Love, passion, and appetite for student development and experience are but a few reasons why I chose to represent us. Spartans, it is going to be an unpredictable year, but our vision is clear. Leadership and representations are qualities that are not uncommon to me. During my time at the ABC Hall, I have served on the Committee of Vanguards. I have served as Block GCC, and I am currently the Block representative for the Archangels Block. These positions have helped me to hone my interpersonal skills and readily adapt in adverse situations. While representing students via these roles, I was met with different hurdles, tall, short, and crooked, and they change daily. In order to make dreams and visions a reality for our blocks, my team and I had to learn to adapt. It is then clear, my fellow Spartans, that I have the proficiencies that will allow me to effectively advocate to the UWI administration to ensure that our relevance, our development, and our safety are always at the forefront. As the great King Leonidas rightly puts it, the Spartans do not ask how many enemies are there, but where are they? We live this law. We never retreat. We never surrender. We face our unpredictable battles head on. We face our changes head on. And that, my fellow Spartans, is the type of leadership we have now and the leadership that will continue to be. Join the mission for a clear vision. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We would have just heard from candidate Williams and candidate Hyatt. Both were uncontested positions. And we want also to throw out some questions to both candidates, irrespective of the fact that they aren't any other contest in the race. We also acknowledge Savon McIntosh. He's a timekeeper. Pay attention to his markers as well. He is with us virtually. He's with us in the chat, rather. Pay attention to his timing. Excellent timing so far. To both candidates, we are faced with an uncertain year for 2021, 2022. How do you plan, just in case we may have another virtual reality? How will your leadership and your representation change or evolve given the circumstances of this year? This is to both candidates, so that whomever is comfortable taking it first may do so. Yes, the questions are, the question I pose is to both Deandra and Danae. Okay, no response there. Question number 2. Are the candidates hearing me? Are the candidates hearing me?
Yes, I am hearing. Could you repeat? I did not hear the question properly.
Okay, the question I'm asking, given the realities we are facing now with COVID-19 and the uncertainty of next year, how will your leadership and representation change to deal with issues that may confront your population?
So as we've said before, and as I did state in my presentation, that the leadership that we are currently in now, because as stated before, my deputy, well, who is now the hall chairperson elect, she's now the current deputy, and I am the block representative of the Archangels block. So we have experienced the traumas of COVID. We understand that these pressures that are going to come from COVID, we understand that these are things that we need to adapt to. And that's the reason why we believe that, we need to adapt to these changes. So how will we do it? We will go about, trying to get more people involved from the hall and those who are attached to the hall, because we have to cater to our distant angels and Spartans, as well. So yes, that's how we plan to do it, to try and get everybody in the whole mix.
Okay, thank you. Is there any response from the other candidate? Okay. Again, this final question to both candidates. What is the most important thing in your manifesto that you think you need to work on this year? If you get nothing else done, what is the most important thing you think you will work at this year?
So the most important thing that we think that needs to be worked on in this year, this manifesto that we have, is adaptation. And we did stress it in our speeches that we need to learn how to adapt, because if we really look at the times, it's really an unpredictable time that we live in. And if we should really just take it at face value and just accept what is, we will get nowhere. So learning to adapt will help us to, you know, get ABC and get our Spartans the place we want to be. So I believe that adaptation is one of the major things that we need to work on with our manifesto.
Is there a response from is there a response from the deputy? Okay, so we are moving on to the next category. This category is the AZ Preston Hall, and in the order we have started with, we're going to go with the Deputy Hall Chair-elect, and that person is Chrisanjay Codner. Chrisanjay Codner, an uncontested post based on what I would have said before, and this will be followed by the Deputy Hall Chair-elect post, the elect candidate, which is going to be Genevieve Watson. So we're going to have Chrisanjay Codner first, followed by Genevieve Watson. Both candidates have 2 minutes to make their presentation. Chrisanjay, your time. Chrisanjay, are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you. Are you guys hearing me now?
And I'm hearing you too.
Okay, good. Just a minute before I begin, I am actually the Deputy Hall Chair representative. So I would begin now. The challenge of leadership is to be strong but not rude, be bold but not a bully, be humble but not timid, and to be proud yet not arrogant. Jim Ron. Members of the administration and members of the panel, candidates, the wider AZ Preston population, and my fellow Pelicans, my warmest greetings to you all. Before you this evening is a charismatic and compassionate Prestonite who finds joy in volunteerism and possesses great leadership qualities that have been tried and proven. I see myself as an individual that is honest, well-rounded, and one that dedicates his all to whatever task he's set to do. These are qualities I believe will help to propel the Hall into a new era. My prior experiences as a member of the Deputies Committee and later cluster representative and Deputy CAC, along with my years of service, have molded me into the man before you today, Chrisanjay Codner, and it is these experiences that I am in the running for your Deputy Hall Chair. During my tenure, I plan to abide by the following tenets of my manifesto: the Preston Academic Support System, which will facilitate the academic growth and development of our Prestonites, for this is why we're here, students first. Maintenance improvements by the development of a maintenance app to facilitate making complaints from the comfort of your rooms, further reducing congregation in public areas in keeping with the COVID-19 protocols. And finally, COVID Through Their Eyes Forum, a series of sessions geared at educating students on the advancements of COVID-19 virus in keeping with the protocols and managing the mental trauma. However, I can promise you that with me as your deputy, your concerns and your voice will be heard. I can attest to the fact that my work ethic, well-mannered nature, yet sociable side will play in the Hall's favor in fostering a steady communication among the Hall Committee, administration, and the residents. I cannot and I will not promise to be perfect, but I can promise you to be responsible. Join me, Chrisanjay Codner, as I seek to pave the way as your new Deputy Hall Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Codner. The next presenter is Genevieve Watson. She is a candidate for Hall Chairman or Hall Chairperson of AZ Preston Hall.
Are you guys hearing me?
You're having a feedback.
Are you guys hearing me now?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Viewers, members of the panel, admin, and my fellow Prestonites and Pelicans, good evening. Coming together is a start. Staying together symbolizes progress, but working together leads to success. My name is Genevieve Watson, candidate for the AZ Preston Hall Chairperson. Being an outspoken and hardworking individual, one who will work relentlessly to get tasks done effectively and efficiently, especially when working with others, my aim is to do nothing less serving as your hall chairperson. From being a member of various subcommittees to being a cluster representative, the deputy hall chair, it has always been my pleasure advocating for my fellow Prestonites, and I will continue to do just that. For this upcoming school year, I seek to acquire sponsorship, whether kind or cash, to assist our students. I'll advocate on behalf of students on hall and off hall to improve the various amenities we utilize. I will advocate on behalf of Preston at the guild level, ensuring that the necessary representatives are informed of any challenges we may face along the way. I will revitalize the Preston Enhancement Program initiative by implementing a GPA policy where Prestonites with the highest GPA can receive a grant. I will support my members of the hall committee and their respective portfolios, and by extension, support the members on hall that may encounter difficulty. Serving you to the best of my ability will be my number one priority. As your hall chair, I will maintain the standards of the hall, advocate on behalf of the hall to continue making Preston your home away from home. So let us all come together to continue making Preston the best hall on campus. Let us all achieve together. One band, one sound.
Roger, your
Yes,
time.
sir. Thank you. Is it Preston Hall? I'm going to also pose a similar question as I posed before to ABC Hall. What is the major thrust if nothing else gets done this year? Deputy Hall Chair and Hall Chair, if nothing else gets done, what is the one thing on your agenda that you believe must be done? It's going to have your entire focus and support for the upcoming academic year.
Good afternoon, and thank you for that question. For my portfolio, the Preston Academic Support System is the most important aspect for me, seeing as we are students first. The Preston Academic Support System will look at ensuring that students are able to function in the COVID-19 system, as we are sure that it has a lot of mental trauma. So we'll be facilitating students getting tutors, having Lyme sessions for studying, and also providing peer tutors and pairing them with somebody in the faculty or in their field of study to ensure that their education is at the forefront.
Okay, thank you.
As the incoming hall chairperson, one thing I'll try my best to work on is the scholarships and grants for students, because given the times that we are facing, there are students who are having various challenges, especially financially. So seeking sponsorships and giving grants to persons with a GPA and with the highest GPA would be one of the main points that I'll be working on this year.
Okay. Question again to the candidates. What if you could find, what are some of the things you find particularly wrong with this year, and how it is, apart from the thrust you would mention before? What were some of the mishaps? Maybe that's a better term. What were some of the mishaps you notice this term or this academic year, and how it is that you plan to fix those. With 2 minutes remaining, how do you plan to fix those in the year that you will assume leadership?
So this year, given the time that we were in, we weren't focused on students living off hall. It was just mostly students on hall. This year, we're going to try and incorporate students off hall as well by utilizing our Instagram posts and so forth to encourage students to participate in activities that we participate in on hall, as well as every opportunity that is given on hall, we'll try to extend it to the persons living off hall as well.
Okay, thank you, candidates. Moving next to Chancellor Hall, based on my roster, we're moving to the category of Deputy Hall Chair of Chancellor. There are 2 candidates in this race. The candidates are Javed Bryan and Phil Mark Miller. In that order, we will take the candidates. So first, Javed will have his time, and then Phil Mark will have his time. The time allocated for each is 5 minutes. The time allocated for each is 5 minutes, and starting with the candidate, Javed Bryan, followed by Phil Mark Miller. Please make Mr. Bryan welcome.
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you clearly.
Okay. Okay, may I begin?
Yes, you may. The timekeeper is ready.
Okay, great. Pleasant greetings to everyone. Mans and mans. Good leaders have vision and inspire others to help them turn vision into reality. Great leaders have vision, share vision, and inspire others to create their own. Roy Bennett. Now, in this moment of truth, this moment is a step towards inclusivity in championing our cause. What is our cause? Our cause is to continue to reign as champions, home of the mighty brave lions. As your leader, my intentions are clear, and that is to strengthen our alumni relations, improve our already evident sporting prowess through efficiency, development of our freshmen, empowerment and incorporation of our off-campus chancellors. Now, there are many plans I envision for the mighty Chancellor Hall. Plans to in our alumni relations through an effective communication network and to liaison consistently and actively with super lions and super seniors locally and through the diaspora through a revamped database. Now, through these dialogues, I will be able to seek internships and job opportunities for the Mans of the Hall actively. Through these dialogues, I'll initiate a line out fund. I'll use offset tuition and hall fees, transfer to our need. Virtual or face-to-face super seniors and super lions forums will be held semesterly to facilitate a continuous relationship among the Mans. This will continue to strengthen our camaraderie and heighten our alumni relations. Now, to prove my proactivity, I've already had discussions with several super seniors and other connections of my own to seek internships for the Mans. I've already communicated with the owner of Tip Top Meats and Groceries, who is one of our super seniors, to utilize the Mans of the Hall in becoming ambassadors for his business. In addition, I've communicated also and confirmed with the director of Tarmac and also our current SSDM to facilitate internships at the university's radio station News Talk 93 FM, which they both have already agreed to, as he too has his own radio program there and welcomes the idea. So, Mans of the Hall who are voiceover talents, technical engineers, switchboard operators, graphic designers, prospective journalists will benefit. Conversations have also been held with my current employer to facilitate internships at his media company, for persons who are sports writers. Now, sports has and will always be of paramount importance to our hall. Through sports, we are able to teach valuable life lessons of camaraderie and social ethics. And in seeking to continue this legacy, I will oversee the sports portfolio by safeguarding sporting equipment through sponsorships and actively seeking brand ambassadorship deals for our players, including esports. Ensure the maximum outcome in all our hall sporting endeavors, engaging adequate and competent managers along with the quality of players before events will be sought once face-to-face interaction is resumed. Therefore, a reformation of the Chancellor sports portfolio will take place indubitably. A designated manager will be assigned by the sports representative to each intramural event, therefore improving the committee's overall efficiency. Whether online or face-to-face, I will engage several sporting outlets with securing sponsorships and ambassadorships. This will be mutually beneficial to both their businesses and our hall. In tandem with the hall PRO, we will utilize our media platform to promote their products through our ambassadors while receiving accessories in sponsorship. Now, first-year development is imperative. And having gone through our program, I was able to add several skill sets to market myself in the working world. A task force designed to uplift our first years by actively targeting their personal development holistically will be established. While our fraternity has been an embodiment for sports, supremacy, and leadership, I intend to broaden that scope so that our freshmen can become aware, expressive, and bring their different talents and interests to newfound peaks. I will do this by initiating virtual or face-to-face programs. This is to offer expertise and training fitting appropriate to their respective endeavors, such as hosting graphic designing, leadership, public speaking, debating workshops, among others. Now, Mans of Chancellor has always been brilliant, innovative, and exemplary, and this is without a doubt. However, over the years, many good works of Mans have gone unnoticed. I intend to establish a social media campaign that will virtually award and celebrate Mans of Chancellor that has done extremely well throughout each semester. Mans will not receive recognition solely for academic excellence, but a wide scope of noteworthy distinctions. So often, Mans have gone unnoticed for tremendous work they have done. Now, in tandem with the House PRO and PCC, a virtual celebratory media show of Mans will be done to highlight their excellence and therefore lift the House image while influencing them to continue excelling.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bryan. For that, next candidate giving his remark, Phil Mark Miller. Please make welcome Mr. Miller.
If they don't introduce me already. Ready?
Yes, we're ready. And I'm hearing you clearly.
Hear me clearly? All right. Good evening, everybody. So Mans and Mans, there are 4 points I want to get across in the debate so far. Personal development, hall culture, and sports, holistic well-being, alumni, and virtual contingency. The first thing, starting with the personal development. Most time what I realize since I've been here, Mans will come to the hall and they really don't learn how to take care of themselves after they leave the space of Chancellor. They don't know how to transact the business. They don't know how to deal with their own, like even bank account and opening and all the stuff. Next thing I would like to say is driver's license. Should I hear me?
Yes, we're still hearing you.
Oh, sorry about that. I've seen that I have internet connections down here. So, all right, start over. So, host self-development seminars. Now, first thing I want to say with that point is, most of them I realize the Mans them overall, they don't really know how to take care of themselves. Resume writing, interview skills, they don't really have that. Even for say example, take care of their own business. Most time they're going out in the business world, they don't know what to do with themselves. Next thing I want to say, like sometimes Mans come up here, they don't have the passport, they don't have simple things that really need to carry through, like the TRN, driver's license, all of those stuff. Next thing I want to point out with that is the social media presence. As I see in these really times, the social media presence can really take a toll on your life. Because if you don't manage your social media really well, it can damage your life and the reputation overall. Next thing I want to get into right now is the holistic well-being. most times the man doesn't come at UWI, they don't really have any guidance to how to operate in the UWI system. Sometimes man don't even register for the right course and stuff like that. I always realize they're having problems. Sometimes you register for a course, you realize later though you don't need this course, you don't have enough credit to graduate after third year, all sorts of stuff on that. What I plan to do is have a big brother initiative. So with this big brother initiative, is have each senior man appointed to a first year, which normally a senior man, they normally have like 1 to 3 senior man, 1 to 3 senior man to first year, normally year on time. So with that, each senior man would be watching over this first year to guide him through first semester, second semester, help him mentally, help him psychologically, help him even with simple things like making him have some free time, make him come out his comfort zone. All right. Next point I want to get into, hall culture and sports. Now, with every hall, you have to have culture to actually appreciate the hall. For example, if me go somewhere and I don't have any spirit or any vibe towards it, I won't push out much effort in what I do. So with this, you mostly need to, you have to give them something to encourage them to actually participate in hall culture. One reason why the hall culture is started to degrade, I realize that the man them don't really have any incentive to participate. They say, all right, we start participating. By the time they participate, they say, oh, man, I miss out on my schoolwork. I start miss out and say, it take a toll on my body. People are laugh after all those simple stuff. What I plan to do, firstly, is re-establish the storage room. With the storage room, the problem is we don't even have our own equipment to do training and stuff like that. Every time we do my event, we have to borrow equipment from Seacole, Towers, Irvine, this hamper training ability. That is one. The next thing is sometimes slow down our schedule to even host our own events and stuff like that. So sometimes, all right, stick on that. Boom. Yeah, no, that's one.
Lost volume with you. Could you repair that for me, please? We're not hearing you so clearly. In fact, we're not hearing you at all at the moment.
Mr. Ben?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. We lost it for like a good 30 seconds.
Could you remind me of the last thing that I said, please?
No, I'm unable to do that, unfortunately. I'm focused.
All right.
But go back.
I don't know how much.
So
I don't know how many time I have left, but I want to get to the virtual contingency. So with this all being said, I can always give points about the sports and culture and holistic well-being, but really and truly by September, we don't really know if there will be any face-to-face school. So we have to have virtual contingency plan. For one, we plan to start as the esports president. I would actually already know how to host like esports events and stuff. So I plan to actually have esports on the hall coming this semester. Secondly, well, this is the first year tackling online as a Chancellor man overall. So I would like to create more workshops for the months, because for me personally, it was even a hard year going to school on an online basis. So we're trying to create more online workshops for the months of various courses to guide them right through. All right, the final thing is,
we're not hearing you, Phil Mark. I'm hearing you on and off. I just heard you a while ago.
All right, sorry about that. Well, all right, finally, let's close off with this then. As I was saying, with the virtual contingency, most times the man, like through this semester, the online workshop was really the thing that man needed, because a lot of we don't know what we're doing with the online. So we have a lot of difficulties. First, even I think you are the admin side has difficulties with this. The first, I would like to to actually create more online workshop for the month to guide them, especially first year coming in this year. So, well, that will end my speech. Thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you very much. And just doing a quick check to see, bearing in mind that you may pose questions to the candidates via the YouTube chat. You can use that link and post your comments or post your questions. We will get them and we will pose those questions to the candidates. Given the fact that this segment has 2 candidates, I'm going to allow for questioning for the deputy position and then move to the hall chairman position. So at this time, I'm going to be posing a question to the 2 candidates. You would have mentioned in your presentation a strong emphasis on alumni relations. But some may argue that the Chancellor alumni relations, is somehow fractured. How confident are you that alumni is behind your manifesto and will give the sort of support to demands that you would have mentioned? Both candidates.
Okay, can I step in?
Certainly.
Okay, so I can attest to that. These things that I've put forward are not merely things that I've thought about. I have spoken to all these super seniors regarding these internships and how it would benefit the minds of the hall. I've been living in unprecedented times where things are not so physical anymore. And so most of these job opportunities are internships that I've seen through alumni relations can be done either physically or remotely. Now, seeing that we are confined to our home spaces, persons like graphic designers, as I've stated before, journalists who can write for media websites, all these things can be done remotely. And I've spoken to several super seniors who have given me their 100% support. Because at the end of the day, this is Chancellor. We're the pinnacle of the universe. And basically, everyone wants to make sure that we remain at the top.
Okay. Mr. Miller, would you want to take a shot at that question or no?
Oh, yeah. It's my time to answer the question. All right. So with that question, really and truly, the problem I realize with the alumni and chancellors overall is that the information, it doesn't really reach alumni most times based on the conversation I'm having. So they don't really want to support of something that they don't really know about. So they don't want to say, all right, they're going to support, either invest in even initiative put on by the man, but by the end of the day, they don't know what the initiative is driving towards. So most times, is the information is a problem. So what I can do for sure is to actually have a more clear and elaborate information session with the alumni to talk to them and explain to them what we're doing throughout the year.
Okay, there's a question from Damali Powell, and his question is to Philma Miller. And he says, what experience do you have regarding the orientation committee, given that you'd be constitutionally required to lead it if you're elected?
All right, you hear me, Rogerman, right?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right, so with that question, what experience I have on the orientation committee and what to have to lead it. So firstly, I was the deputy block rep the 2019-2020, the academic year of 2019-2020. So by being the deputy block rep of Chancellor Hall, you're automatically placed on the orientation committee for the upcoming year. So I would have experience in that category already. Secondly, actually, that year I would say actually a rough year and we have a lot of trouble. So I believe I've actually faced all those troubles and ready to lead the hall with that in that aspect.
Okay. There is another question as well for Philmark. This is Imani Williams, the Guild GCC. Since people lack resources to participate in esports and the gadgets are expensive, how will you bridge this gap?
Oh, all right. So firstly, normally JEI, when you're working with JEI, they would like to partner with you to donate. Well, I wouldn't want to say donate, but you to use their resources for events. So as long as you like provide location and work out the tournament brackets and all those stuff, they would provide equipment for you to use or even rent. So that wouldn't really be a problem for esports.
Okay, this is a question for both candidates. You have less than 60 seconds to answer both. So here we go. Given, and this is, as I said, both candidates, given the fact Lions Week hasn't been held in such a long time, how would you navigate the next staging differently? Alric Campbell asked this question to both candidates.
Okay, can I step in? Or
yes, you may.
Okay, so Lions Week haven't happened for the past 2 years, and so as we've seen now that everything's going to be happening online. Now, as I stated before, through the alumni association, alumni relations, I've reached out to several super seniors already. Now, we can have this Lions Week done online. Now, I will be able to facilitate this in tandem with the PRO and the PCC. The revamped database that I will have will basically garner more attention, and we'll be able to speak more super seniors to be on board. We have done several initiatives online for the different blocks, and also for Chancellor. We have spoken to Dr. Christopher Tufton, who is a super senior as well. We have spoken to Mr. Campbell, who is also a super senior as well, and they've done several forums for us. And so having a Lions Week online, it will be a challenge, but we have a competent substances that can be able to come forward and put forward a committee that will be able to pull off this event.
Okay, next response, Mr. Miller. Keep it short if you can.
All right, I'll keep it short. So with Lions Week, because it's such a rich and traditional culture, I wouldn't want to say keep it online, because that would actually like die down the hype about the Lions Week. So with that being said, I think the best thing is to do, I would be prepared for Lions Week even next year, because normally it's held in April. So I would be prepared, if God's will, there is no much corona and everyone is vaccinated, to keep a proper Lions Week in April. So the best thing I should say to do is basically wait on Lions Week next year. Don't really force anything. And we should really properly prepare for Lions Week, because we don't want to rush with Lions Week and then it just come out like something normal or so. Since it's 2 years key.
Okay. Gentlemen, thanks for your response. We are against time, and so we are moving to the next presentation that is going to be for the category of Hall Chairman for Chancellor, and there is only one candidate. It's an uncontested post, Alex White. He has 2 minutes to make his presentation. Alex.
Yeah, cool.
Is Alex hearing me? From Alex at this time. We will somehow, if possible, come back to him. We're moving to Elsa Leo-Rainey Hall, and we have William Mullings. He is the only candidate for the position of Deputy Hall Chairman or Deputy Hall Chairperson of the Elsa Leo-Rainey Hall. At this time, please make him welcome. William Mullings.
Good evening, everyone. The current academic year has been one which has changed the way in which we operate. And though we haven't fully mastered the new environment, there was and still is a lot to be learned. The experience I have attained over the past year in my current post has led me to apply the will code to ensure that the tradition of excellence that the Elsa Leo-Rainey Hall is known for is upheld for the upcoming school year, whether in a virtual or face-to-face mode. The love I have for my hall, integrated with the passion I have to assist people to be the best version of themselves, has invoked a willpower to protect and improve our identity as wolves. The will code consists of plans to improve the Constitution, have an orientation period no matter the mode we use in the next academic year, the development of persons through mentorship programs, and the involvement of the improvement, of the hall's environmental space. All right, I am William Mullings, your candidate for Deputy Hall Chairperson. Join me on the quest as we seek to continue our wonderful tradition where we lead the pack on our hunt for excellence. One peak, one pack, one pride.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Mullings. Just let me do a quick check to see if there are any queries. No query at this time for Mr. Mullings. Mr. Mullings, I will ask one of my favorite questions. Again, given the limitations that you may have this year, we have a lot of uncertainty as it relates to student leadership coming in the next academic year. If there is anything that you think that you could get done, what will that be? What's the thing on your list that is of absolute necessity to your representation?
So the university life is a challenging one. And the hall life that you experience while at university is a very coping you enter the university space. The main plan that I would try to implement, or I will be implementing during my tenure, is to ensure that there is an orientation period for the first years, whether it is a virtual one, if we're on a virtual space, or if it is a face-to-face one. So this would be done through the implementation of different activities, working alongside the Tower of Olympus representative who would be in charge of the first years. And as I said, my current post has led to me having experience on how to deal with this virtual space and working with first years. So this experience will definitely assist with whatever plan and things that I want to implement in the upcoming year. So definitely the plan that I really want to get done is to ensure that the first years, the incoming first years, have an orientation period to help with their transition from high school to university life.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving to the next candidate from the Elsa Leo-Rainey Hall, the position of Hall Chairman. Please make welcome Philip Porter.
You guys hearing me?
Loud and clear.
All right, lovely. Good evening to our rights and fellow Pelicans. In the words of Robin Sharma, leadership is not about a title or a designation. It's about impact, influence, and inspiration. My name is Philip Porter, and I am vying to serve as the Elsa Leo-Rainey Hall Chairman for the year 2021-2022. Join me as we flip the script. During my tenure, it will be my intention to tackle critical issues that have been affecting students throughout this global pandemic. One of my main initiatives is to assist in providing for students who are affected maybe financially or academically. This will be achieved through forging deals with various entities who will aid us in providing students with the materials needed for a successful year. I aim to be a stalwart in the reintegration of students who have been distorted by this pandemic. I can agree that it has been a tough year, and adjusting to what we now know as the new normal has been very difficult. But I believe as leaders, our main duty is to ensure that our supporters do not feel disconnected, but remain unified. Being a true leader of the pack, I will ensure that no wolf is left behind, whether virtually or physically. Everyone is introduced to what it truly means to be a wolf. My mission is to be the epitome of change. The generation that I am a part of and those to come may reap the benefits of my labor. Join me on this next chapter as we continue to strive for excellence, all while achieving one common goal, flipping the script. Let's move together on to the next chapter. I thank you.
And thank you very much, Mr. Porter. There's a question for you as well. That question is coming from Imani Williams. It's for both candidates. That's for deputy and hall chair. It says here, how will you ensure that the long-standing Wi-Fi issue is addressed promptly by the administration? So I'm going to have to call the deputy out of retirement because that question is also posed to you. So gentlemen, the question is on the floor.
William, you go first.
Well, this Wi-Fi issue looks so as if it's really challenging.
I think I'll take this question. So the issue of Wi-Fi is not an issue that is just prevalent on the Towers Hall. It is something that is seen throughout the campus. I think that the best way to achieve change in tackling this issue is to take a united stance. As being a part of the guild, we are to work together for the betterment of facilities for the students. I think the best way to achieve change is to actually unify our strengths and approach the admin as one to see if we can effect change on this matter. Thank you.
Ready when you are, William.
So yes, as the hall chair elect just said, the plan that we have is to advocate. The issue is not just a Towers issue, as he said, but an issue where we don't have much control over certain things, you understand? So we need to ensure that we advocate for the students to get better Wi-Fi on the Towers itself. So yes, advocacy during the upcoming year will be key, and I promise you guys, during this period, I will ensure that I will be advocating continuously to get some form of improvement towards the Wi-Fi system at all.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. The next question is coming from Abigail Maitland for Philip Porter. What is one mistake you witness leaders making more frequently than others, and what would you do to prevent it?
This is a beautiful question. I thank you for that question. I think a thing with leaders is that they put themselves in a bubble, as in they make themselves less available to those who they are supposed to lead. I've seen this prevalent with a lot of leaders where it is an issue where they are not very present with the people that they are helping to voice their concerns or to evoke change. Sometimes it is a very lengthy process. As a leader, I think that we should be the persons who make ourselves one of the students, not to separate ourselves from the pack, but to be a part of the students as well. Thank you.
Okay. And thank you very much, gentlemen. Thanks so much for the spirit in which you responded. And of course, we are most appreciative for the way you've used time. We're moving to the next hall. The next hall is the Irvine Hall, and in the category, in the fashion that we've done it over the past couple of sessions, we're going to go with the deputy first, followed by the hall chair candidate or candidates. So the candidates for the deputy hall chairman or hall chairperson position for the Irvine Hall is as follows. We have Javian Anderson and Sheldon Clouden. I hope I'm calling that name correctly, but if not, please correct it at the soonest. We have Javian Anderson and Sheldon Clouden. The first person speaking for 5 minutes is Javian Anderson. Javian, it's your time.
Good day, everyone. Is everyone hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you clearly.
Thank you. A pleasant evening to my fellow Irvinites, my fellow candidate moderators. My name is Javian Anderson, and I am vying for the post of Irvine's Deputy Hall Chairman. I am a third-year student majoring in computer science and minoring in economics. Irvine Hall has been my home for the past 2.5 years, and I've been blessed to also have served on the Hall's committee for 1.5 of those years as a block representative, and currently I am the male sports representative of the Hall. Prior to that, I would have been the PRO for my block on Irvine and the captain for my high school's quiz team, the Teachfield High School. But I never come for to talk about my resume. Since my first day in Hall, my love for this community has grown, and my only wish is to see the prosperity of this Hall. Leadership for me has always been about serving others. How can I help my fellow man and woman? We have been the cultural mecca of the university since our inception, reaching many cultures. Yet, over the past few years, we have not seen much exploration of the other cultures other than that which we are based in. The integration of our regional students is essential, and especially for first years who are coming into a new environment. As an ambassador of the USTAT Vice Chancellor Corps, there will be a collaborative effort to facilitate a better regional identity on the Hall again, while being cognizant of the current pandemic. This will see an increase in activities from our regional cohort in an effort to promote outreach while increasing our regional awareness. It is my hope to highlight and emphasize the similarities in the different cultures and also the beauty in diversity, which will keep us more bonded as a family. Already, we have seen where hall life has not been the same as it was before. However, there is still a role to play in making it more desirable. Under my leadership, I'll be creating partnerships to enhance the life of students. Already, we have made a partnership with Big Six, a food delivery service, which granted a discount for residents on hall during these worrying times. This is my first of many, as I'll be looking to create a food bank for Irvine through working with the Guild to partner with Grace among other companies. I will also be vying for funding of grants, which will be available to students who are in need to enable them to experience their journey as a university student much better. Have you ever needed a friend, a shoulder to cry on? The question we as students have all been asked maybe twice a day is, are you okay? Which sometimes goes on deaf ears when the answers are depressing no. Our mental health along with our physical health is paramount, and in these times, we ought to be more so than ever our brother's keeper. Whether I'm elected or not, there will be a peer-to-peer system implemented which is purposed to support friends and ourselves through these challenging times, in an effort to keep ourselves grounded and in our responsibilities as students and also increase social activity. Through my current tenure as a half of the sports representative's portfolio, Irvine Fit, which is a physical wellness program, was created, and I'll be adjusting and revamping it to be more COVID mindful and more inclusive of residents at home. This will focus on our holistic health and develop a sense of positivity in our journey as university students. In closing, these aims I have put forward will have a positive impact on the student body, as Irvine is our home away from home and should always feel as such. I am thankful so far for the opportunities I have had to lead and serve, and I hope that I am trusted once more to continue serving you faithfully, amplifying your voices with my voice. My name is Javen Anderson, and I thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. The next presenter is Sheldon Clouden.
We pledge to dedicate our lives to the pursuit of truth, knowledge, and excellence. With that said, it is time to excel. Greetings all, and a special good evening to the residents of Great Irvine Hall. My name is Sheldon Clouden, and I'm running for the position of Deputy Hall Chairman of Irvine Hall. My previous leadership experience since being at the University of the West Indies has led me to select this position. I was selected me for this position. I was Deputy PRO for Block E on Irvine Hall. I am currently the content creator for the Faculty of Social Sciences, Director of Communication for the Guild Librarian, Publication Committee Chairman for VINSA, which is the Vincentian Student Association, as well as for Irvine Hall. But I'm here today to share my plans with you of how we are about to excel in this upcoming year. 1, to install a flagpole. This will be used for a flag raising ceremony for all Caribbean countries' independence. This is to go beyond just posting a mere graphic online, for it is a momentous occasion. This is to commemorate and celebrate diversity on Irvine Hall, as we are able to educate and foster regional integration among students on Irvine Hall. 2, a collaboration with the hall chairman to host a standard monthly meeting. This is a form of checks and balances, where the hall committee can give their updates on progress, projects, campaigns, and initiatives they have running. But most importantly, this is for students to ask their questions and air their concerns, and for us to advocate on behalf of them. 3, the vine and the vibes are synonymous on Irvine Hall. As a result of COVID-19 pandemic, hall culture has been negatively impacted. In collaboration with the hall committee executives and the hall committee block representatives, a LIME is proposed twice per month in the efforts to promote a more a more lighter environment, to promote commandery, hall vibe, integration, and a vibrant hall culture where the students of Irvine Hall and commuting students will be a part of. 4, to advocate for the revocation of the dormant club and societies on Irvine Hall. This is to foster a full university experience for commuting and on-campus students. For this will be a levy for growth, creativity through involvement. With that said, let's excel in this upcoming year.
Gentlemen, thanks so much for the presentation you'd have made. In case you're just joining us, we are dealing with the Irvine Hall Deputy Hall Chair person position, and the two presenters for that position was Javian Anderson and Sheldon Clouden. Gentlemen, what do you feel was the most pressing problem that Irvine Hall had this year? And first, so that's the first question. What do you feel was the most pressing issue among Irvinites this year?
So in my opinion, the most pressing issue that Irvinites face this year is rather the lack of culture being out there. In light of the COVID pandemic, I don't think we adapt enough, and we know it's a difficult time, but we are about to try our best to not stop, but rather find a way around these issues.
Javian, you agree or you have a different view on this?
I have a different view. So my view is that the relationship with the administration this year was a bit off, seeing that we were in a pandemic and certain situations would have happened on the hall that would have been needed to be COVID safe. And the relationship with the administration and the students was a bit off. And if elected, there would be a more inclusive and transparent approach with administration, facilitating a better relationship, which would strengthen the students' morale.
Gentlemen, you'd have both mentioned administration and the relationship, and I think Javian spoke to an inclusive approach. Javian, could you explain that some more? What do you mean by an inclusive approach to administration?
No problem, sir. No problem, sir. So the inclusive approach that I'm meaning is that when we are facing an issue, rather than we're taking it up on ourselves fully, we would include them more, because there were issues that were present on the hall this year, and we weren't really necessarily inclusive with administration, and they weren't really inclusive with us, and therefore there was a bit of, what would I call it? A bit of misalignment of emotions and miscommunication along both parts. So therefore there was a lot of noise that was necessary. So therefore we want to fix that going forward.
Okay, all right, thank you. 3 minutes remaining. Okay, thanks, Savan. So we have some time. Gentlemen, so another question to both of you. I hear rumors to the fact that people are asking constantly for permission to come back on campus because of several issues at home and issues that may have to do with resources. If COVID-19 continues and the university makes a decision to keep online, how are you going to be advocating for those persons who are at home but want to come back on campus? What words do you have for them? Do you think it's best for them to stay at home, or should they come back on campus? But on what grounds? How will you engineer, orchestrate that kind of representation to ensure they are considered in the new academic year?
All right, so thank you for that question. So in regards to that, as I said in my presentation, mental health is important and it's paramount to us. Now, seeing that Irvine is facilitated by 138, therefore there is an issue that revenue needs to be generated. So what the issue is that we're trying to keep it a minimum at like 8% of floor, so that we don't have that you have much social distancing and one person to a bathroom. Now the case is different, that we're Students might want, might want to come back to campus, but it might be different. For medical students, we have to have them here, saying that they would have clinicals, and for a person that would have labs. Now, for other persons that are facing different circumstances and different situations at home, like mental issues and stuff, they may take it up with the SSDM, which she will on her own vices would actually recommend if they should come back here. So, and I personally agree that school at home really isn't the best of options for many of us.
Yes.
So the reality of the situation is, personally, as a deputy hall chairman, I do not have the direct power to get somebody back on hall. But within their best interest, if they have electricity problems, internet problems, or whatever problems they may have at home, I could advocate on behalf of them to our SSDM and try our best possible way to get them on hall if it's needed. Medical students have to be here, and the students who have these severe conditions need to be on hall. And for hall culture to be active, these persons need to be on hall who know the culture.
Okay. Thank you. So we are actually moving on to the next position in Irvine Hall, which is the position of the hall chairman. We now have two candidates also for the position, vying for this position of Irvine Hall chairperson. These persons are Micah Smith and Jeffrey Thomas, in that order. Both candidates have 5 minutes to make their presentation. Make welcome Micah Smith. Candidate Smith, your time.
Yes, you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
I'm hearing you.
Okay. All protocols observed. Good evening. And to you, my Irvinites, big up on yourself. Firstly, I want to thank you today for accommodating me, and to the Guild for accepting my nomination so I can share my vision with everyone. My name is Micah Smith. I am a proud Irvinite, pursuing a bachelor's degree in physical therapy. I am 21 years of age, and I indeed am ready to serve as hall chairperson for Irvine Hall 2021-2022. Today, I come with one main agenda, and that is to offer you my time, dedication, and my effort. If elected as chairperson for Irvine Hall this upcoming school year, I will be placing my focus on you, the students, as it is seen where this school year we have struggled with varying internal issues with coping with the new way of life caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, which has led to numerous ripple effects. My solution for this is to place emphasis on collaboration by reaching out to the students in hall and at home individually so they can comfortably voice their concern. I will formulate a task force consisting of myself, if elected, a representative from the hall's administration, of course, the elected deputy chairperson, the hospitality representative for Irvine Hall, a representative from the sociology, psychology, and social work department, and a representative from the academic support unit to host intervention sessions for the students experiencing these difficulties coping with this new way of living. For this, we would work with 10 persons per week, taking a more individualized approach. Through advocacy, I will lobby with 138 student living for sanitizer dispensers to be placed on each floor, as well as seek donations to ensure this happens. I also came to the realization that a lot of first-year students are becoming flustered academically with the transition from high school to university. For this, I intend to establish a collaboration with the Guild and the varying faculty representative to provide academic guidance based on their experience. This will be done throughout the school year, giving support to our first-year students, whether virtually or face-to-face, regional and international students. I want to establish a platform so that you students too can be able to express your culture and celebrate your country's holidays and festivities, promoting cultural integration, giving you a sense of home away from home. To further support Irvinites, I plan to establish a Irvine Hall Scholarship. to be funded by our alumni, fundraisers, and other prospective donors. This will be in aid of providing financial support for tuitions and hall fees. Additionally, if elected, I have plans to create a hall committee shadow body geared towards facilitating a smoother transition into student leadership position on hall for interested and prospective hall committee candidates like myself. Irvine Hall is my home away from home, and I believe it is my responsibility for Irvinites to share a similar sentiment. Through advocacy, consistency, and empathy, I know that I will continue to make Irvine Hall the Hall of Halls while facilitating development of Irvinites through our motto, Know Thyself. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. The next candidate is Jeffrey Thomas, vying for the position of Irvine Hall Chairman. Jeffrey, please welcome. Please make him welcome.
Yes, good afternoon. Are you?
I'm hearing you on and off. Say something else again so I can check.
Are you hearing me better? Hearing me better now?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Moderator, my respectable opponents, fellow Pelicans, and especially my fellow Irvinites virtually watching this debate, good evening. My name is Jeffrey Thomas, Block Representative for Block E, the Mans of Mafia of Irvine Hall, Year 2 representative of the UWI BMSA, and your candidate for the position of Irvine Hall Chairperson. Now, before I begin, you know I always have to presented to us. I ask of you to reminisce on the word READY and think of it as an acronym, an abbreviation for our future, as I present my plans for you and our hall when elected. I start with R, entitled Revival. When elected into office, I will work to utilize all available resources and efforts in revitalizing the Irvine Hall culture and working to make us locally, regionally, and internationally known once again as the Hall of Culture, Vibes, and Pride. Over time, and especially due to the COVID-19 pandemic we're currently facing, we have lost touch with the culture of our hall and what it means to be an Irvinite. I plan to work with the hall's administration in contacting past Irvinites who can provide more knowledge of the hall's past and culture, and hosting sessions for all interested residents to learn of all aspects of Irvine's culture. Reviving our culture will not only focus on the past, but will also be geared to the future, as I plan to work with you, the community, hearing your suggestions and working to incorporate new things into our culture, modernizing it for the future. I continue with E, for efficiency and empowerment. I plan to provide facilities geared towards the betterment of the Hall's committee, as well as each resident, aiming to increase our efficiency, not only as a student, but also as a Pelican, a person, and a valuable member of society. This will be done by organizing training seminars with experienced individuals for the committee, ensuring we are fully trained and equipped to serve you. I will also be working with the Hall's EAC and hospitality representative to host seminars aimed to uplift, motivate, and inspire you that improve your lives with long-term effects. A, adaptability. This year has shown us that this world is unpredictable as we battle the struggles due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Over the year, we saw numerous plans being modified to fit the guidelines put forward or cancelled due to the circumstances. Moving forward, I plan to adopt the same mindset and be mindful of the changing lifestyles we face. All plans will be thoroughly considered and adjusted, if needs be, that fit the necessary protocols put forward by the university and the government. This will include altering the layout of some of our famous events, i.e. Culturama. Diversity. I plan to initiate programs that give each Irvinite a wider range of exposure to cultures other than their own, and to increase activities that provide each person a chance to express their natural talents and capabilities. This will be done by working with the Hall's CEAC to establish more events and activities geared towards doing so, by displaying our residents' talents and skills, as well as activities geared towards the involvement of our commuting students. Finally, why? Your voice. As your hall chair, I will be the voice that connects you, as a hall, to the UWI Mona Guild of Students, as well as the hall's administration, voicing your issues and working to make your year the best it can be. I shall advocate all your concerns and issues faced by the residents of Irvine Hall to the necessary bodies, ensuring not just your comfort on hall, but within your faculty and the university on a whole. As I close, I ask you to ponder on the points I have presented to you. I see a future for our hall where we can all be ready. I thank you for your time, thank you for listening, and wish you the best in all of your future endeavors as we continue to know ourselves.
Okay, thank you to candidates Micah Thomas and Jeffrey Thomas. We have more questions for the deputy. So we didn't get any questions for the hall chairs. We got more questions for the deputy. So we're going to take them at this time. Javian and Sheldon, are you here? Javian and Sheldon, are you hearing me? Okay, yes, good. Sir. So the questions posed would have been from Zidane Martin to both candidates. What programs will be our programs? What program or programs will be implemented for regional students in an attempt to tackle the culture shock stigma?
All right, so I'd like to go first saying that. So what I would like to do is host events such as a games night, which is a social initiative, a Caribbean movie night to explore the cultures, competitions, for example, charades, a cook-off competition facilitated through UWI across the 4 campuses, which would, help facilitate better the regional integration, because, people from here, from Barbados or also in KV are here on Mona campus as well. And even hosting forums and quizzes on culture, which will also be used as a help to offer better integration for our regional counterparts and make the journey more delightful here, that is.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen, for your time. The hall chair, this is a question as well for the hall chairs. Shamar Hamilton is asking Micah Smith, in previous years, it has been difficult for the hall committee to reach out to the alumni. What will you do differently to address this issue?
Yeah, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, with Irvine Hall, the first hall of UWI, established in 1950, I personally am friends with a lot of alumni through church and through social interactions. We have been in dialogue and they have agreed to actually come up with some kind of funds or donations to actually help to this cause.
Okay. There's also Kimona Roach, who is asking you, gentlemen, could you ask your questions? Could you answer them as quickly as you possibly can, given the time we have? You've mentioned that the Irvine alumni is funding a plan of yours, but quite frankly, it has been deemed to some as dormant or inactive. How do you plan to change this reality?
Okay, as I said before, we have been working towards this for a very long time. I must commend the existing hall chair and deputy. They have been working towards it too. What I want to do is to continue to form a partnership with the hall so that we can reach out to these alumni and let them see that Irvine Hall is the hall of halls.
Okay, we only have time for one more question, I think. And I may have to ask one that is posed to both. Sasha Heron, she says, what makes you the person Irvinites should trust to lead the hall?
Well, after living on the hall for this school year and experiencing COVID-19 for 1 year, I've came to the realization that this is the new norm. This is something that we want to adapt to. What I want to do is to refocus to the students that does not know to adapt to this new way of living and try to incorporate what we were used to in this new lifestyle safely, of course.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes. Good evening once again. In answering that question, why the Irvine Hall family should trust me is because I have spent
We're not hearing you. We have lost you. Jeffrey, could you respond? Could you repeat?
Irvine Hall and Elvine for the position of Hall Chair.
Jeffrey, we didn't hear you. Could you repeat quickly?
Oh, sorry. I was saying that I have spent my time with different aspects of Irvine Hall, from the photography club to the EAC, branching myself up to block representative, and now going for the position of Hall Chair. I have spent a year firsthand learning from the Hall Chair, learning from the committee, learning from the administration of what is expected of a Hall Chair and what is expected for the future. And I'm very confident that that experience has enabled me with the capabilities to perform well as a Hall Chair in this new COVID-19 pandemic.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, candidates, both deputy and hall chairman candidates, for the time you have given us and for the spirit in which you have answered your questions. We're moving to the next category of candidates. That is going to be Mary Seacole Hall. And again, the deputy hall chairperson for Mary Seacole Hall. The candidates are, it's just one candidate for Mary Seacole Hall, and that is Genevieve Richards. Genevieve, are you here?
Yes, are you hearing me clearly?
One candidate, I'm hearing you, and also one candidate for Hall Chair, which is Brianna Edwards. So Genevieve, welcome.
Thank you. First, I must acknowledge the coordinators, Mr. Bertram Anderson, the RO, moderator, and my fellow candidates, and a special welcome to my sisters. Ubuntu, I am because you are, a famous African quote which signifies unity. Because of you, my sisters, I stand here to represent and advocate on your behalf. The bond we shared has helped me to find my I in you. Yes, you, my family, my study partner, JCR crew, parish partner, and most importantly, a representative and an advocate who will amplify your voice as the next Deputy Hall Chair for our sorority. My name is Genevieve Richards, but you best know me as Almond. You may be wondering, what makes Almond different? Well, for she is hardworking, passionate, self-driven individual, women advocate who finds passion in volunteering her time and energy for the holistic development of society. You have seen me in action, whether as EAC for Jade, contestant for Miss Mary Seacole pageant, Caribbean cultural competition, intramural debate, IGIG secretary, or the sister who always has a word of encouragement. As the next Deputy Hall Chairperson, I will implement initiatives that will foster participation and development of sisters virtually and on Hall. Additionally, revamping programs such as Seacole Connect and implement Seacoleite digital marketing. Sister support system that will be targeting first-year Seacoleite while building and strengthening on other initiatives. Sisters, are you ready? Sisters are always ready. Together we stand. Black and white is always right. Yes, Genevieve is the candidate who will advocate, lead as the next Mary Seacole Hall Deputy Hall Chairperson. I thank you.
I thank you, Genevieve Richards, to make her speech for Hall Chairwoman of Mary Seacole Hall is Brianna Edwards.
Moderator, Mr. Benz, RO, Mr. Anderson, Guild Manager, Mr. Neal, students, fellow candidates, and last but no means least, my sisters of the best sorority, good evening.
My name is Brianna Edwards, a passionate leader ready and waiting to serve as the next Mary Seacole Hall Chairwoman for the year 2021 to 2022. John Sweller once posited, leadership is not a person or a position. It is a complex moral relationship between people based on trust, obligation, commitment, emotion, and a shared vision of the good. In these pressing times, and with the recent occurrences in our Jamaican society, it is the duty of women in leadership to use their voices for change and leave an edible mark on our society. As the next Hall Chairwoman, I pledge to be accountable, noble, trustworthy, hardworking, empowered, meticulous, and motivated. For Seacolites, having authority to call home means so much more than its mere definition. It is a place for building unbreakable bonds and learning the value of being your sister's keeper. In continuing the sisterhood, I intend to revamp and implement initiatives geared at empowering my sisters to carry on the traditions of our home away from home. In light of the COVID-19 pandemic, Polygrant is an initiative aimed at providing data plans to ensure my sisters have access to their classes. Additionally, Talk of Seacolites intends to keep the traditions of the hall alive through regular online forums focused on addressing pertinent issues my sisters may have. These are just a few points I have for the Mary Seacole Hall. Seacolites, as we continue to uplift the sorority, form your stance and just drop it in a pelidoc. I thank you.
Ladies, your hall would have been one of the halls that are closed for this academic year. If this should be the case again in the next academic year, how will you provide support and leadership to the Seacolites?
Thank you for that question. You can go. Okay, thank you for that question. Seacole has always been a close all, and with the upcoming, if we're going to go virtually as well, we have a sister support system. So this is an initiative which is an all-inclusive package of meal grants, credit grants, and also mentors for our sisters. So therefore, we'll connect just as well virtually and those who are on hall, because this grant is not just focusing on academic only, but it's also focusing on the emotional well-being of our students as well as the physical well-being, because as Seacolites, we are an all-inclusive hall. Thank you.
And just to add to what Genevieve had to say, so basically most of the sisters, they have a challenge with continuing the traditions and the sisterhood of the hall. For me, I would implement a Seacole vibe session, which would be geared towards ensuring my sisters have time to come together and share past Seacole events and to share our little Seacole songs, etc. In addition to having a mentorship program, which I plan to continue. This was something that our current hall chair started, the My Sister's Keeper, and I want to continue this tradition that will basically pair sisters together to have someone that they can trust and talk to about any pertinent issues that they may have.
Okay, if what would have been the most problematic thing that happened for Seacolites this year, and how do you plan to fix it in the new year?
Well, the most problematic thing that I would say is the digital divide. The digital divide was real, and some of our sisters were left behind who had class virtually. So what I would do going forward is to engage more sponsors and partnership in getting data to our sisters, because at the forefront, our academic come first. So most of our sisters were left behind, and as a Seacole tradition, we never leave a sister behind. So going forward, we get more sponsorship for data, and even trying to get access for Wi-Fi to some of our students and some of my sisters. So that will be included going forward.
And not to repeat what Genevieve said, because really and truly most of the sisters, well, some of them had issues with data plan. So that would be an initiative that we would work together on with the administration to try to sponsor our sisters in having data plans. But in terms of another thing that was difficult for them, it would be continuing the sisterhood and the traditions of the hall, because as Seacolites, having our traditions
in place, having the sisterhood in place, we would need to have things that are incentivized activities that would propel the sisters to come together as one and to do things that we would usually do on hall, but in an online platform or on an online space.
Ladies, thank you so much for the spirit in which you participated. All the best going forward. We are now moving to the Rex Nettleford Hall. The Rex Nettleford Hall category for Deputy Hall Chairperson. Only one candidate, so the candidate is Tyrese Scarlett. Please make welcome Tyrese Scarlett, the Deputy Hall Chairperson candidate for Rex Nettleford Hall. Ready when you are, Tyrese.
All right, good evening, everyone. In the words of Ralph Emerson, do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there's no path and leave a trail. These words have always resonated with me as a leader, as I like to approach leadership unconventionally. From the first day I set foot on the Rex Nettleford Hall, I knew that one day I would be given the honor of taking the helm and cutting the new trail on which we would embark. So I set out to learn the operation of our hall inside and out. Any avenue where I could represent, I did, whether in cheerleading, sports, and yes, leadership positions. So after 4 years, 3 of which I spent on the hall committee, I believe I have a solid foundation in the requisite skills and experience to guide our hall through these trying times. With this experience, I have created a targeted plan to get the most results this year. These initiatives fall under the umbrella PAINT: progress, advocate, innovate, nurture, and together. Because without you, the residents, any plans are impossible. So we must forge ahead together. I am Tyrese Scarlett, the incoming Deputy Hall Chairman of the Big Bad Rex Nettleford Hall, and I look forward to serving you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tyrese. We only have one candidate as well in the seat for Hall Chairman of Rex Nettleford Hall. That's Devor Pinnock. Mr. Pinnock, welcome.
Good evening, everyone. You guys hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Okay. John Quincy Adams once said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Denver B. Pinnock, the Rex Nettleford Hall Chair-elect for the academic year 2021-2022. It is with great pride that I embark on this journey to lead our Rexans in a time where uncertainties are multiplying and the will to continue seems beyond our reach. Our Rexans need a leader who is innovative, adaptable, and competent. Adjectives all describe my character traits. As such, with no reservations, I believe my 7-point plan to excellence is capable of improving, sustaining, and maintaining the legacy of our noble hall. My 7-point plan focuses on everything from safety and security to financial aids and social engagement. My aim as hall chair is to leave an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of every single Rexans. Together, we have managed to secure a legacy that will be remembered for years to come. As we go forth, let's power up with Pinnock and continue to make an impact. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for giving the powerful charge here, Mr. Pinnock. We have both candidates now, one for deputy and the other for hall chair of Rex Nettleford Hall. And question, sir, the 7-point plan, how much of that plan would include financial assistance, given the fact that students this year and in the upcoming year may have suffered financial fallouts in more meaningful ways because of the COVID-19? How substantive a support would the 7-point plan be in helping those real needs? That question would be to the hall chairman.
All right, thank you for that question. So most of my 7-point plan is geared at student development. So as it regards to engagement, so 2 major points that I'd like to highlight is one is the hall committee grant. So over the past academic semester, the hall committee has given their services without hesitation, and we as a hall committee are not compensated for that, and our aim pretty much is to advocate for the students, and I feel we do a pretty good job for that. So as such, I believe it would be good if we could assist 2 hall committee members per academic year with tuition grant. As well, we would like to partner with our hall SSDM breadbasket program as well, which is a welfare program that assists students who are in need. So our aim this semester is to assist both students on and off hall, if there is students on hall, that is. Thank you.
Okay. Tyrese, what about the fact that you are uncontested and people may say you are not the ideal candidate? How do you respond to those bad mind people?
Well, that's one thing we can't allow in life, but So I know that I am the perfect candidate for the job because from the day I set foot on the Nettleford Hall, I have been paving the way for this point in time. I have served as a cluster representative, getting to know my constituents. I have served as a treasurer, getting to know the financial ins and outs of our hall, and a domestic affairs chairperson, getting to know the facilities issues that we face and the general problems that residents might report. So with all of these experiences in my pocket now, I know that I am the candidate that can forge ahead in these trying times.
Okay, gentlemen, thanks so very much. Let me do a quick check to see if there are questions coming for you. We have no questions online at this time. No, additionally, yes, we do. This question is actually from, let me check that, please. Right, so the question is posed, and I think it's for both candidates, both hall chair and deputy. Participation in the hall has been an issue for Rex. Given this new online environment, how do you plan to boost participation in hall events? Whoa. Oh, gentlemen.
All right, so let me just chime in. I'll take that question. So for me personally, participation on Rex have improved significantly during the pandemic, since the start of the pandemic. And I personally can say that as the current CEAC, we have seen numbers in online events that we have never seen before. And I doubt any other hall have ever seen those numbers in online events. So I don't think going forward this upcoming academic year, participation will be an issue for us because thus far our Rexans have been engaged and they are enjoying the engagement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deborah. Is there a response from Tyrese?
Yes, sir. Well, I actually have a point in my manifesto directed especially towards participation. So I'd like to call it the Rex Nettleford Hall Core Initiative, which focuses on highlighting and incentivizing the process of participation. So the residents that are always participating, always at the forefront and Rexans to the bone, these persons shall enjoy perks and be at the top of the list of consideration when things are being handed out. And this should help to boost our participation since everybody in Jamaica like freeness. Thank you.
Careful, Tyrese. I'm the moderator, and I don't necessarily always appreciate you classifying me in such a way. But I take note, sir, of the points you make. We're moving now to Taylor Hall, and we're moving in the normal ways. We have the deputy hall chairperson. We have 2 candidates. We have Diamonique Francis and Nakinsky Robinson. Now, if I have mispronounced these names, I apologize. And at the soonest possible time, please correct my mispronunciation. I have given it the best pronunciation I possibly can, but I could be wrong. So the first candidate for Deputy Hall Chair of Taylor Hall is Diamonique Francis, followed by Nakinsky Robinson. Make Diamonique welcome. Diamonique.
Good evening. I am Diamonique Francis, a blue-blooded member of the Taylor Hall Empire and the best candidate for Deputy Hall Chairperson. Residents, commuters, Taylorites, you need a Deputy Hall Chairperson that has been working and will continue to work for you. I have adapted to the virtual space and went above and beyond what was expected of the External Affairs Chairperson with my team, and I will be taking that drive, that passion I have for Taylor Hall into my role as Deputy Hall Chairperson. As your DHC, your safety and security will be my #1 priority, as it was with the deputies before me. That is why I will adapt the self-defense seminar executed by Sofina and expand it. 2 sessions per semester. And given the current social climate, this initiative cannot and will not be limited to Taylorites only. The virtual sessions will be held on Zoom and broadcasted on YouTube so many persons can attend. The sessions will be saved and uploaded to our YouTube page. Men and women will get to benefit. Tutorials showing how to escape a vehicle, how to defend yourself from attackers, how to free your hands and feet if they are in bondage, will also get posted on every online platform that we have. The logbook system at the front of the gate needs to be enforced at all times. Visitors will have to provide their name and ID numbers. Even if you are a UWI student, you must be a resident to be let through. The others will have to provide their information. It is not just for the resident safety, but it is also for the safety of the visitors if there is ever a COVID-19 outbreak on the hall. You need to be tracked. That is why it is important for visitors to use the Taylor Hall gate and not the other entrances. An emergency task force will be in collaboration with campus police, hall security, Mr. Kelly, our operations manager, and interested members of the hall will be on alert at all times. There will also be an infrastructure arm that will attend to all machine problems, storage problems, washroom problems, and the list goes on. So residents, no more having to hunt down Mr. Kelly. No more having to hunt down Mr. Frado if you have a problem. The task force will be here for you. Safety tips and updates will also be disseminated through various online platforms, which brings me to my next point, the Taylor Hall website. Taylorites at home, I will be bringing the Blue Empire to your fingertips, the Blue Empire in a virtual space. The history of the hall, what is happening currently on the hall, alumni relations, a suggestion box, room tours, tours of our facilities, a know your executive feature, and a tab to send queries to any executive member of the hall. You name it, Taylorites, the website will have it. First years coming in will get to have a Taylor Hall first year experience. I have been in dialogue with the current first years. I have heard their concerns, and as your deputy hall chairperson, the incoming first years must have a better first year experience. We will have a virtual welcoming ceremony. We will have stress relief seminars. We will have games night, and they will be able to participate in all hall activities and block activities. This school year, we've also had blocks trying their best to get new members for their attached to their block for themselves to maintain their legacy. It will no longer be every block for themselves. We are one Tayloria at the end of the day. And as such, getting new members for each block will be a joint collaboration. Taylorite, don't vote for Mackerel because of what Mackerel has done. Vote for Mackerel because of what she will do for you. You need a deputy hall chairperson who is here to listen, a person who is approachable, a friend to all, a people person, and whose whose presence on hall have been felt and will continue to be felt. I will be creatively leading with experience and proven adaptability for any responsibility. Taylor Hall, Taylorites, residents, commuters, the path is clear. Vote Dimonique Francis for your next Deputy Hall Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving away from Dimonique for just a moment to focus on the next candidate, Nakinsky Robinson. Please make her welcome.
Good evening. And yes, you pronounced my name correctly. A true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions, and the compassion to listen to the needs of others. The name is Nakinsky Robinson, your candidate for Taylor Hall's Deputy Hall Chairperson. Now, I do not come to dwell on the experiences and the initiatives, but what makes me best suited for your deputy are the 2 particularly consecutive years that I've shadowed this position to understand what is required for success. Security has always been a big issue on Taylor Hall. As such, the Stay Alert campaign was conceptualized. Through an online text bank, safety and security alerts will be sent to correspondents. An independent task force working alongside the Mona campus police will be created to regulate the transmission of alerts. And this targets all Taylorites, whether at home, commuting during the day, or even on hall. Guess what? This doesn't require any data connection, thus inclusive. Following suit, biannual self-defense sessions conducted virtually to provide Taylorites with the knowledge and expertise to defend themselves when necessary. And this will be done as a collaborative effort with a member of the JDF and a personal self-defense coach, which have already been in talks with, ready to work. Given increased online platform usage, protecting yourself is imperative. So on the cybernetics, protecting yourself is a virtual seminar structured to inform students about their digital footprint in the COVID-19 world. And the main presenter will be a representative from the Communication Forensics and Cybercrime Unit within the JCF. My plans on emergency and evacuation includes a clear and rehearsed evacuation drill outlined to residents on all occupied spaces to understand emergency routes in the event of said. A physical session streamed virtually also will be done to ensure residents know how to operate emergency equipment. A former Taylorite from the JCF, who I've already confirmed, is ready and waiting to serve you on this. Infrastructure is also a very important aspect to the hall, and the university's current financial status and private fundings doesn't allow for much. Nonetheless, a virtual hall and amenity store for incoming individuals and commuters who are able to access the hall, and this will be done with the orientation committee. Also, biannual checks to ensure that the emergency equipment is up to par. To facilitate proper asset storage, already speaking to the necessary individuals, the room attached to the washroom will be used to store hall resources, as was previously done. On accountability, a Taylorites appraisal for the hall committee will be implemented, and this provides a semester-based online assessment of each executive member to evaluate their effectiveness on initiatives and ways to improve to better serve you. Additionally, a virtual suggestion box will be used to promote engagement, and this allows Taylorites to voice their concerns and queries prior to hall meeting to be addressed then. The Blue Trail and Shadow Committee, and this will constitute of Taylorites independent of the executive body, and they will oversee the activities of each member to ensure transparency. They will draft monthly reports on their findings to be presented to the resident advisor in charge. Now, what's new? I'm bringing you spirit, integration, and innovation, a journey to the past series as a collaboration with the PRO, and this series will reflect on the journey and the legacy of our dearly beloved Taylor Hall. The Blue Commemoration, and this proposes the completion of the Taylor Hall crest to commemorate the pre-COVID Taylor and the continuation of the legacy of all 7 blocks. The Blue Spirit Revival proposes the creation of external signatures for each female blocks at the side of new block to represent a period of transition and rebirth. And the revival of the Taylor Hall Oratory and Performing Arts Society, THOPAS. We have a lot of untapped potential and creative minds, and we want to tap into that working together with the CEAC. You've heard the plans. Plenty to do, but we're ready for this. On March 31st to April 1st, vote Nakinski, vote consistency. I've never misrepresented you. I've planned, worked, prepared, waited. There's no question about performing because the path might be clear, but the blueprint is here. Good evening.
Thank you very much, ladies, for your presentation. We at this time open the floor for question and answer. At this time, I will check to see if there are any questions in the chat, and if not, I'll proceed with a few questions for you. The first question to both candidates is, given the realities of COVID-19, how this may have changed the culture and the people. They would have been out of school and out of classroom and out of residential hall life for a whole year. That may include first years who've never then been in hall, and also seniors who would have changed after one whole year. How do you hope to revive the culture of Taylor? One, how do you intend to retain the culture? And how do you intend to revive the culture, given that you've had a year's absence? And also, you have some seniors coming in who've never been in hall, and some first years coming in who would have never been in hall.
Thank you for that question. Okay. So as EAC, for the new persons new persons for this academic year, I have had a game session with them. I have been talking to them, and with the game sessions I've integrated, and they will be ready. And are you guys hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, great. So I have talked to the new persons. I've been in collaboration with them, and they are ready to continue the legacy. For the seniors, I do have plans. The website is there to bring Taylor Hall to persons who are at home. So I will try my best to maintain the legacy as I have been doing as the EAC. There are initiatives last year that I have done, that the high school outreach, the virtual pink ribbon that I have done. I have tried to include as much Taylorites from all 7 blocks that I can. I have been trying my best to maintain the legacy, and I will continue to do just that. Thank you.
Now a question, can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Are you, okay. Now a question as it speaks to spirit, revival and renewal. As I said, I did mention, this is something that I wanted to bring to as my new. So a leader, when it comes down to Taylor Hall, needs to be spirited at first. They need to be that person that is multifaceted on the road. Now we're looking at the future. And that's why I have in my manifesto, the journey to the past, the blue steps. Just like how you have this day in history. All these things will go back into the past and we'll reel out all the real memories of celebration, of triumph, of victory of Taylor Hall. And we'll be showing these to the incoming individuals so they can understand the solidarity, the traditions, what over the years. And I've been a part of that. No questions asked. You snap your fingers, McKinsey has been there, ready, up and running. So bringing back the spirit. Once you have the spirit, you have no problem in giving it to others. So these are the things, the Journey to the Past series and the Blue Commemoration, the Blue Spirit Revival. These are the things that I have set in place for the future, for those coming in to be a part of it. As it relates to those persons on hall now, I've actually met with some of them. And let's be realistic here. Most of the persons that are living on hall now, they are still, some of them actually come from other halls. So they still have affiliations with their halls. And we all know as a Taylorite, it would be hard to break me from my hall. We have the opportunities and we have persons there ready to integrate with them and talk to them, get them along the journey. But at the end of the day, it kind of really is up to them because you don't really want to let go of the tradition and the strength that you have onto your hall. Nonetheless, they're very much integrated and they're very much interacted and engaged with.
Okay, thank you so very much. I wish you all the very best as you, with love and true Taylor Hall spirit, battle it out with the votes in the next couple of years. Okay?
Thank you.
The hall chair position. And we have two persons also with love and the usual Taylor Hall spirit battling for this position. We have Deshaun Boyd and McCoy Nemard. They're coming in that category, in that order. Deshaun Boyd, if that's not how you pronounce your name, please correct it. It could be Dashawn or Deshaun. I'm not too sure. McCoy Nemard is also the second person in that category. I think first speaking is going to be Dashawn Boyd.
Hi, good night. Yes, Dashawn, by the way.
Okay.
All right. So, good evening, everyone. I am Dashawn Boyd, the candidate vying to become the next chairman of Taylor Hall. Passionate, zealous, creative. These are just a few words my peers used to describe me. As a young man growing up, leadership was always something that I would gravitate towards. This translates into many leadership roles on and off the court. As you may know, I'm a basketball player, but I also take pride in my experience in volunteerism. Additionally, I am currently serving as a Black representative of the fraternity of Attica. Just like you, I am not pleased with the current affairs of the art. Therefore, if given the opportunity to become your next Hall chair, I will introduce an array of initiatives aimed at making necessary changes. Taylorites, I am sure that all of us have been affected by this pandemic in one way or the other.
Mr. Boyd, my apologies. Could you turn your camera on, please? Thank you.
It's turned on.
I'm seeing you now.
Oh.
It's off again.
Hold on. Give me a minute.
Okay. It's off again. Dashawn? I think we may have lost him. I'm wondering if we should go to the next candidate and then take him again after the after this. We'll do that. For we understand the technological issues, so we are going to actually go to McCoy, and we'll see if we can come back to Dashawn when and if he's able to do so. McCoy, you don't mind that, do you?
No, sir. I'm quite fine with that.
Excellent. So welcome, sir. Time for your presentation.
Thank you. Greetings, my fellow Taylorites. It has been a journey started on love and passion for our empire, the Blue Empire. 2 years ago, you would have elected me to serve as your assistant treasurer. That year, I achieved several things. The major of them all was the TLE, the Taylor League of Entrepreneurs, a club created to foster a spirit of entrepreneurship amongst our students and to help our student entrepreneurs to grow their business and image. Last year, around this time, I offered up myself again to serve you, the people of Taylor Hall. Unfortunately, we were hit with Corona. Corona visited us and disrupted everything. The entire world came to an halt. For me, it was like training to run the 400 meters at the Olympics and only to hear that I will be swimming. I've never swum before, neither anyone on my team. I had to taught myself how to swim and teach my team along the way. Nevertheless, we did our best and we were very successful as a committee. It took us some time to adjust to the new circumstances we were facing and are still facing. Nevertheless, we pushed through and fought like real Taylorites, the burning fire within us, the never say die mentality. And we achieved several goals and objectives, which include our first virtual orientation, our first virtual Founders Week, and also our first virtual Block of Blocks. We executed several virtual seminars aimed at student welfare and development. Recently, we partnered with the commuting students body to keep a series of econ marathon to help our students with mid-semester exams. Over 400 students benefited from this initiative, and for that we are proud. My fellow Taylorites, we are not here to brag or boast about our accomplishments, but more so to enlighten you on the things that we have achieved throughout these challenging times. It was really a tough year, a year that we've never seen before. Being the first to lead our empire in a time like this gave me an opportunity to create a new path, set our own trend, and plant some seeds. And now, my people, is the time to reap the rewards. Let me tell you about some of the things that we'll be reaping if I am re-elected. The GPA reward. At the end of each semester, the person with the highest GPA will receive an reward. This will motivate students to work harder and enhance their academic performances and enhance their overall GPA. The Taylor Academic Support Unit will be partnering directly and closer with ASU to assist more Taylorites. We also will be hosting more marathons and for more courses. The student request system. Through this program, students studying from home and want to get things done on campus, for example, to collect an ID, a health card, or to get any business done at SAS, you can send an email to the Hall Chairman's email and make a request. The committee and I will set aside a day each during which we will fulfill these requests free of cost. My people, we all know that Taylor Hall is filled with young entrepreneurs. For example, myself, Pickles Ice Cream. Pickles Ice Cream is the best ice cream on campus. So what I've come up with is a Taylor Entrep Hub. Business operated by Taylorites will be grouped under one umbrella and promoted on an Instagram page. We will hire students to manage the IG account. Business will make a monthly contribution. So business will make a monthly contribution, and this contribution will be put towards giving a salary to the students who manage the IG page. As you can see here, we're using one stone to kill two birds. We're providing employment for students and we are endorsing our young entrepreneurs. Lastly, we all know that these are really tough times. Things are very tough. Last semester, many of our students had to take leave of absence because of financial challenges, really tough times. So I came up with a very tough initiative to conquer these tough times, the Taylor Upliftment Funds. The Hall Committee will assist students with financial difficulties. Students will apply and be selected based on need and other criteria. This initiative is already in the pipeline and will set sail shortly after I'm re-elected, if I am re-elected, so that students can clear the balances and be clear to sit final exam. My people, once more, we'll tilt the soil, sow the seeds, and the harvest is here. It's time to reap the rewards of our hard labor. Vote reliability, vote effectiveness, vote adaptability, vote progress, vote McCartney for a year Hall Chairman. Reap the rewards with Nemard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, McCartney. At this time, we welcome again the Sean Boy.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that. Once again, good evening, everyone. I am Dashawn Boyd, your candidate vying to become your next chairman. Passionate, zealous, creative. These are just a few words my peers use to describe me. As a young man growing up, leadership was always something that I would gravitate towards. This translates in many leadership roles on and off the court. As you may know, I'm a basketball player, but I also take pride in my experience in volunteerism. Additionally, I am currently serving as a Black representative of the fraternity. Just like you, I'm not pleased with the current affairs of the office. Therefore, given the opportunity to become your next Hall Chair, I will introduce an array of initiatives aimed at making necessary changes. Taylor, I am sure that all of us have been affected by this pandemic, one way or another. Take a moment, but do you think enough was done to cater for your needs while you were away from the hall? Do you think it is fair-minded that you will have to wait another year to reap this manufactured harvest? It is evident that such harvest has failed, and the farmer is in disarray. Nevertheless, I have devised a manifesto which I truly believe can help us to rebound during these two turbulent times. Providing grants for disadvantaged Taylorites to offset costs imposed by current pandemic is of utmost priority. I have seen where attendance rate for my classes has fallen by as much as 50%. Taylorites, I cannot look at those classes as half full. Let us say it as it is. They are half empty and urgent action must be taken. Next on my agenda is the modernization and overall improvement of the washroom. As Taylorites, we can attest to the hassle and annoyance that we have had to go through to do our laundry. As a student mentor, I have seen the positive effect of homework programs. Therefore, if you get the chance to become your next art chair, I will also devise a homework program that will be free and accessible to all Taylorites. Now, as a people, as a nation, as Jamaica, too often do we shove aside mental health related issues. Now it is time to act. It is time for us to confront the bull and take him by the horns. I will introduce counseling and peer support services as combative measure to stress instigated by online classes. Since the lockdown, the rate of mental fatigue and suicidal stress instigated by online classes has risen among students. As such, we will be proactive in launching this initiative. As saying goes, prevention is better than cure. A leader is elected to serve the people. Elected, I will hold monthly meetings with you, my fellow Taylorites, as an avenue to share updates and hear concerns. Too often, our leaders only see you when they need support. I will not play that part, as I will do what it takes to make the necessary rebound on all. Finally, I will arrange all activities seeking to encourage volunteers as well as provide entertainment. Selflessness and altruism are among the necessary qualities needed to make Jamaica better. You may ask yourself, how will these goals be funded? As these are ambitious plans. After liaising with administration, alumni, and other stakeholders, I am enthusiastic to say that through partnership, donation, and government already this will be achieved. As I close, I leave with you a mantra of mine: power is control, and all power is strength, and giving that strength to others. A leader isn't someone who pushes others to make it stronger. A leader is someone willing to give his strength to others that they may have strength to stand on their own. Allowing me this victory to serve you, my family, as your all chair, let us rebound. Let us fill the void with more.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We have some questions for you. And so we have these questions have been for the Deputy Hall Chair, but we're going to retrofit them as well to see how it can be answered by the Hall Chair. It says here, are there any plans to make improvements to any of the facilities in Hall? Are there any plans, and it's to both candidates, any plans to improve facilities in Hall?
Okay, I'll go first. As I already mentioned, the washroom is really an annoyance to the residents, and I have put plans in place to ensure that this is resolved once and for all. I will be in meetings and in conversations with the SSDM and with my committee to bring this problem once and for all to an end. We will improve the washroom, ensure that the room beside it will have space to store what is needed, and ensure that the residents living on Hall is able to wash their clothes without any hassle.
Yeah. McCoy?
All right, thanks, Mr. Ben, for that question. So firstly, I must say that one of the reasons why the washroom is inactive currently is that we do not have as much students living on hall, and we had some challenges last year which were unfortunately unable to get resolved. What we have done is we created a system where students currently living on hall can make a request to wash at the towers washroom, and that has been going on well thus far. What I'll be doing moving forward is that I'll be advocating more with administration. I'll be in meetings to see how best we can get back our washroom up and running. Also, with the gym, the gym.
What traits do you possess that makes you most worthy to lead our legacy at Taylor Hall?
All right, so let me take that one first.
You can, so we can get as much in. 3 minutes to go.
Okay, so one experience. I've served on the committee before Corona. I was serving on the committee while Corona came, and I've led the committee throughout this pandemic. I've garnered enough experience and knowledge and about how to lead the people and serve the people of Taylor Hall. Also, the love and passion that I have for my hall is above the bar, and that is why I'm the most worthy candidate to lead the people of Taylor Hall and to lead the legacy. So,
thank you, your boy.
Yeah, well, the trait that most defines me for this position is the fact that I'm selfless. I'm a very experienced person when it comes down to leadership. I have led, as you know, I'm a sports person, and I've led every sports team that I've been on. And as much as I'm a sports person, students my age or older, I still mentor them, lead them into the right direction, and lead them on the right path. As I possess these traits, I know that I am the right candidate to lead all forward, and a person like me is what all needs to be where it was before and even better.
Okay, we have more than one question here, so we have to figure out which one we're going to ask. It says here, how do you plan to integrate commuting students into the culture of Taylor Hall? And most importantly, their blocks, especially first-year students who may never be inducted.
Okay.
all right, so, all right, go ahead, Dashan, go ahead.
All right. Okay, well, when it comes on to commuting, right? For one, I view my commuters as residents because we are one family. The commuter is one of the most important aspects in the situation of people where they are very important to the art. In our events, our commuter is very important as they play a vital role in anything that we are partaking in. I, for one, will be there hearing concerns of commuters, getting them involved in anything that all will be discussing, whether by committee or by administration, because getting these commuters the necessary information needed will be a major plus for all, because they make up a larger population than what the residents are. And for the first year that will be coming in that may not be inducted, there will be initiative put in place to ensure that these individuals know what all is about, and we keep them up to speed as to what we expect from them all and how they go about moving forward in their school life and to improve everything they do in their life going forward.
Okay. Sir Nemar, quick response, please.
All right, sir. All right, so I must start by saying that the community population make up over 60% of the entire Taylor Hall population. They are very, very important to us and to us as a hall. What we have been doing and will continue to do in terms of engaging our commuters, in terms of engaging our commuters, is to have our online parties or online games and so forth, where they can have a close, can build a closer relationship with students on hall and inducted tailors, so we can pass on the culture to them and teach them about way of life. In terms of getting them attached to Black, what we have been doing is allowing the Black representatives to recruit commuters to their Black, so they can build a closer relationship with the entire hall community and the entire hall population.
Okay, thank you so very much. And in the interest of time, we are moving on from Taylor Hall. Thank you so much to the Hall Chair and Deputy Hall Chair candidates for your time, your effort, your passion that you have poured into the responses this afternoon or this evening at this point. The next candidate we have, the next set of candidates are coming from the Leslie Robinson Hall. We have uncontested positions for both Hall Chair and Deputy. So we will now move to the Deputy Hall Chairman candidate for the Leslie Robinson Hall, which is Donna Phillip. Donna, you have 2 minutes to make your presentation. Please begin.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Donna Phillip, candidate for this year's Leslie Robinson Hall Deputy Hall Chair. Now, I'd simply like to take the time to introduce myself and share what I know I can bring to the portfolio. While serving in role as Hall Secretary for the past academic year, I was reminded that my dedication, resilience, and creativity would be a key asset in this upcoming year. It would enable me to lobby on behalf of my residents and to represent their interests with the utmost efficiency and professionalism. Advocating on behalf of my residents is a key priority to me, but it is not my only hope. Another hope that I have is to bring a new light and life to the whole of the Phoenix. The projects I intend to implement, one of which is entitled the Phoenix Legacy Project, will not only be geared towards encouraging and fostering whole spirit, but also encouraging the inclusivity of all persons from the very diverse group of individuals that we have residing on the Leslie Robinson Hall. I believe that creating a safe and nurturing environment would breed the leaders of tomorrow. I mean, individuals that would exemplify professionalism and passion, and that can show the world what it truly means to be a Phoenix. And never forget, unity and justice, rising to the sky, we set ablaze, for legends we are, and our flame will never die. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That would be Donna Phillip for the Deputy Hall Chair position. Moving to a candidate for Hall Chair of the Leslie Robinson Hall is Sajane Gomes. Please make her welcome. Sajane.
Good evening, everyone. It is truly a pleasure to be here amongst everyone as the Hall Chair-elect of the Leslie Robinson Hall for the academic year 2021 to 2022. My name is Sajane Gomes. During these unprecedented times, I believe it is best to have a leader that is experienced, motivated, and driven, one who is adaptable to this ever-changing environment. It is my aim not to be the voice, but an amplified voice of the students of the Leslie Robinson Hall, a leader that not only has sight, but a vision that I want to enhance from my predecessors that who would have already started, and modify to suit the current environment, being the pandemic. Now more than ever, students need someone that can truly be there for them, relate to them, and push for them. I have represented the hall in many competitions. I have been a Block C floor rep and the current publications committee chairperson. What's in my vision? I want to ensure that our first-year students have a smooth transition and recognize their inner Phoenix, where we always rise. I'll provide a smoother communication between the students and the management of the hall, continue the Coping with COVID campaign that we currently have, introduce a system to help students academically and recognize students who have done well during the semesters, create a dominant hall culture, have a leadership seminar, and a seminar geared to life after you. Also, I wish for the hall to have a more vibrant social media presence that speaks towards hall life for those who aren't physically there. In conclusion, I would just like to leave everyone with a quote by Gandhi, which states, "You must be the change you wish to see in the world." This is to encourage not only those who are vying for hall chair and deputy hall chair, but to all those who are listening.
Okay, thank you very much to the candidates. Question to the candidates, how do you think, given the virtual reality that we face and the fact that a large cohort of the Leslie Robinson Hall would be regional or international students, how do you intend to continue building the Phoenix spirit in that space?
Chancellor, would you like to answer? I kind of take this one.
Could you
keep your cameras open during the, we're asked by the technicians to keep your cameras open during the Q&A, please.
No problem. Mr. Ben, can you please repeat, as my internet connectivity went down when the question was being asked?
Given the fact that the hall is virtual, based on the fact that even if the halls, even if they could come, logistically they won't be able to make it unless there's a clear indication by the university for them to come. So given the fact that the LRH is largely virtual, how do you ensure, or how will you ensure that to retain culture for the persons in the space?
Okay. So both Chancellor and I have been on the both Chancellor and I have been on the executive for the past years. You know, we've had a bit of experience dealing with the COVID situation and, you know, trying to get residents out and to come to events. And it has been an extremely difficult thing to do thus far. But I believe that a big part of the issue is us not being able to get the reach and to actually get to the persons that we're trying to get involved in our whole life. So one of the programs, one of the projects that I'd like to implement is called Set the Region Ablaze. And it would see the collaboration between our whole executive and island associations, because I believe that the island associations might have a greater link between our freshers, you know, persons that would be interested in coming onto campus and living here. Creating that link and creating that collaboration would give us an avenue to really target them and try to get them to reach out and to actually come to our events. So that's one thing that I would like to implement that could help that issue.
Okay, and to add to what Donna would have said, being an integrated communications major, I would use that experience that I've garnered through my degree to also help with the social marketing that we would be doing online that would, you know, just put out messages that really entices the students to want to come out and be a part of the initiatives that we will put forward.
Okay. Okay, thank you so very much for your time. I don't think there are any more questions being posed to you. Ladies, all the very best in the year to come. Looking forward to seeing you off camera.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving to the final hall for this evening. This is the hall that will wrap up the presentation. It is the George Elaine Hall, and we have two persons vying for the post of Deputy Hall Chair, and we have one person vying for the post of Hall Chair. As is customary, we'll move to the Deputy Hall Chair position, and we have Rhoda Essien and Joshua Williams. In that order, please make welcome Rhoda Essien. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. If not, please correct it at earliest convenience.
Yes, you pronounced it right.
Thank you.
I never thought in terms of being a leader. I thought very simply in terms of helping people. John Hume. Good evening, one and all. I am Rhoda Essien, a 19-year-old information technology major. I enjoy watching Frozen and love playing instruments. Now, why you should consider me as your DHC, you may ask? Well, I am bringing over 5 years of leadership skills to the table, from deputy head girl of my high school to recently being awarded distinguished president for the UWI CKI Club, which are just a few of my leadership experiences. The Georgia Lynn Hall is home to a vibrant set of Panthers from different parts of the Caribbean. I personally enjoyed being able to mix and learn about different cultures. Although it's a fairly new hall and may not have as much history as other halls, I am excited to be a part of those who would develop this history to go a long way. I appreciated the family life and being in a community that provide programs and activities to enhance the overall development of its residents, such as the entrepreneurship program and Panthers Talk. During my tenure as DHC, once elected, I will make it my duty to provide avenues for greater camaraderie amongst Panthers. Throughout my experience as a Panther, I was able to connect with persons from all over the Caribbean. Forced by the pandemic to relocate, this connection was somewhat broken, creating potholes. My roadmap has a plan to bring Panthers together, both at home and abroad, creating a stronger bond with also commuting Panthers. Given the COVID-19 pandemic, this will be done through different online communication platforms. Expect exciting engagements as we restore our vibrant hall life in this new normal. These include, but are not limited to, Panthers game shows, movie nights, and getting to know you sessions to reflect what once was. Additionally, members of the class should expect to openly express their concerns and play a role in fixing the cracks. No one institution is perfect, so it's up to us to amplify our voices as one claw. This way, we would have a nicely paved road to make our hall life more convenient. As your deputy hall chair, I'll make it my ability to ensure that the necessary personnel hear and act upon our issues. Moreover, my roadmap will erect lanes that provide Panthers with resume-enhancing opportunities outside of academia. Too many times persons come to university, collect their degree, and leave without having experiences that lead them to be well-rounded individual. The reality is the world is beginning to adapt to new normal, and we must look towards developing ourselves. Be it through acts of service or taking on projects, Panthers should leave the gates of the Georgia Lynn Hall as a multifaceted individual. Furthermore, no one man is an island, and no one man should travel alone. We all need a little help sometimes. Through academic support groups, Panthers can look forward to finding a club that will assist each other in improving their academia and be able to collectively produce excellence. In this time of uncertainty, no one will be left behind. Join me as we head down the road to excellence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rhoda. Now speaking is Joshua Williams. Please make him welcome.
Yes, can you hear me?
I'm getting some feedback. Could you speak again for me?
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you, but there's some feedback. I'm not sure why. I'm going to turn my mic off and see if it works.
Hear me now? Okay. My fellow Panthers and my worthy opponent, a pleasant evening to you all. Many of you sitting here before me, looking at your screens, may be wondering who I am. Sure, you've seen my posters and you know my name, but who am I? Am I brilliant? Am I diligent? Am I hardworking? Am I resourceful? What about benevolent? I am Joshua Williams, the living combination of all of these things, and I'm your candidate for Georgia Lynn Hall Deputy Chairperson. I am a man of results, a man of progress, and the best way to go about progress is to have a great foundation. Let us get back to the basics and learn the ABCs. Advocacy, business, community. Advocating for you, for your voices to be heard. Your concerns, your opinions about our hall matters and should not be silenced. Help me to help you be heard. I am an advocate for you, and the first thing on this advocate's agenda is to have launch tokens to be sold on weekends. For many of us, the weekend is the perfect time to do launching. But how many times have your weekend laundry day plans been foiled because you forgot to buy tokens in the week prior? How many times have you even had the time to buy tokens in the week prior? This needs to change, and I believe I am the one to change it. I believe I am the one to change this and so much more, and I believe that together we can make George Elaine Hall, home of the Panthers, the ideal student dwelling or the closest thing to it. Now, in my next point, I mean business. No, literally business. Let us recognize our resident entrepreneurs. As I have noticed, George Elaine Hall has a considerable amount of Panthers with small businesses. Now, when I was inducted into the hall, I was graced with our pristine and encouraging motto, excellence or nothing. And what better way to encourage excellence in these individuals than to put them in the public eye and feature them on our Instagram page. Upon my induction, I was graced with a mantra to live by. No Panther left behind. So I refuse to leave these Panthers behind, or any Panther at that. But in fact, these Panthers with small businesses are fighting for themselves. So I not only refuse to leave them behind, I want to push them forward, push them to excellence, push them to contribute toward an excellent hall. And behind every excellent hall, there is an incredibly large sum of money to back them up. Which brings me to my sub-point, funding. As Deputy Hall Chairman of George Elaine Hall, finding and raising funds is a big part of my portfolio. The reason why I am the man for this job is because I'm willing to work tirelessly and ruthlessly to ensure all events are funded via sponsorships and fundraising events such as bake sales, barbecues, and car washes. C is for community. Let us protect and integrate our Panther community. Let us protect the health and wellness of our Panthers. In this unprecedented time, COVID-19 has been wreaking havoc and leaving its mark on the world, and Jamaica seems to be right smack in the middle of it. In order to protect our community, we must first protect ourselves. As an essential tool in containing the spread of COVID, access to masks is way too limited on Hall. So let's change that. Let's put masks on every block. Let's put masks on every security post. Another aspect of my health and wellness initiative is integration. Human interaction plays a role in mental health. Human interaction plays a vital role in mental health. And as a hall of residents, we are too segregated. I'm not saying we should throw a grand party on the roof or something, but I'm saying we need to have a safe way to integrate the entire hall. And this way should be left in the hands of a visionary, a man of community. So therefore, my fellow Panthers who have joined me here today in this Zoom call, who have joined me here today on YouTube, on March 31st, vote for an advocate, vote for a man of business, vote for a man of community, vote for a man on a mission. With pride and brilliance, rise with Williams. Thank you.
Thank you very much, candidates, for the passion you've brought to the position and just the way that you've really showed us what you want for your hall. Question to both of you: what is that ideal characteristic that you have that you think will make you an ideal deputy hall chair?
I believe my resourcefulness and my selflessness is my two best characters, which will make me an excellent.
Okay. I'm not hearing you so well, so you're in and out, but I heard resourcefulness, and I heard part of your explanation to that effect. Do you care to rephrase? Would you like to rephrase?
Oh yes, I said what would make me an excellent deputy hall chair is my resourcefulness and my selflessness as a person.
Okay, thank you so much. Rhoda, a response from you?
Okay, so why I think I am the ideal candidate is because I am a people's person. am currently in Antigua and I'm president of a club that's in Jamaica, and we were able to gather over 100 members. I think if I wasn't a people's person, that wouldn't have happened. So I am one that can listen to everyone's voice. I'm not afraid to approach, no one would be afraid to approach me. And just my love and my smile makes me even more approachable. So persons can know that with me, their voices will be heard, and as all the other things on my manifestos, I will get it done.
One more question. However, we want to acknowledge Samantha Williams. She is the candidate for WJC. We will get to her in a bit, right after we speak to the candidate, the hall chair candidate for Georgia Lane. So the question again to both candidates for the deputy position is, what did you think was the major hurdle of this academic year for your hall, and how will you navigate it so that it's a better year, or that this particular issue is addressed in a better way next year?
Okay, so I think one problem that our hall had was the ability to reach out the other Panthers that are not living on hall. The reality is that Georgia Lane is home to many Panthers from all over the Caribbean. So many of us weren't able to come back to hall, and therefore we felt a little bit left out from hall activities. So I would like to bring back that inclusion, being an overseas student, to acknowledge all Panthers, no matter where they are, so that they all know that, you know, we are all part of a club. Panthers, we move as a club, and no one should be left out of that club.
Okay. Joshua?
Yeah, so definitely the biggest hurdle of this semester would have been the effects of COVID, the different regulations being put in place by the government. So not as much Panthers were able to participate in on-hall activities or hall-related activities as we would like. But in my tenure, in the coming year, we would like to establish a better online presence when it comes to Panthers. So we would more like to integrate all of our Panthers so we can get better. Participation.
Okay, candidates, thanks so much for sharing. All the best at the polls. Looking forward to your success. Moving now to the hall chair position for the Georgia Lane Hall. The lone candidate in this post is Ryan Bernard. Ryan, is that pronounced correctly?
That is correct, thank you.
Okay, perfectly. Please take the floor, and you have 2 minutes to make your presentation.
A leader's courage to fulfill his vision comes from passion and not position. To the live audience of my fellow Panthers, good night. My name is Ryan Bernard, a very strong-willed, self-motivated, and compassionate individual that holds steadfast and always aims for success. An individual who is dynamic, reliable, and passionate about students' leadership and welfare, because it is when passion fuels what you set out to achieve, it acts as a catalyst for advantageous outcomes. And if those circumstances were to change, as change is the new norm, the outcome would remain the same. As I possess qualities of being adaptable, a quick thinker, and trusting my judgment. My fellow Panthers, it is the year of adaptability, where we examine our circumstances and choose to be strategic and advance to higher heights. So how do we approach it? It is my intention to follow my 3-step plan, to innovate, integrate, and implement. The basis of innovation is to create the Panther Life app, which will bring our daily agenda into one virtual working space. The multi-purpose aim of the app is to serve as a virtual meeting space, as well as an avenue to make requests and get hall updates notifications that will facilitate for faster and more efficient communication channels. Adjusting to the new norm can be taxing, which is why we should integrate for a cause. This initiative focuses on our health and wellness, which is something we should prioritize by having wellness fairs each semester, as well as advocating for a lounge area and sanitary bins on hall. The last I in the 3-step process is implementation, where we will have routine teamwork, adaptability, and leadership workshops, as well as progressing with the Panther grant for residents on hall. What I value is that I know I have the drive, the aptitude, and the ability to be your voice and fulfill what is required of me, which is why I am your candidate for Hall Chairperson on Georgia Lane Hall. Thank you.
Ryan, what if some person may say that you're the only candidate for the post of Hall Chair, and they may want to question your resolve, question your competence, question your ability to lead the Georgia Lane Hall? What would you respond to such a person and say?
Thank you for that question. I understand where that concern would come from, but then it's up to me to prove to them that I am the person for this position. I don't look at the tag uncontested as complacency. If anything, it's an indicator to me that I have to work hard to prove to my Panthers that I am the person who's going to be resourceful. I am the person who's going to be an advocate, who's going to be visionary, who's going to be tenacious, and be the voice for my Panthers on Hall.
Okay, thank you. You would have mentioned, I think, some of those words, but I also want to focus on what characteristic do you bring to the post that you think that the Panthers will benefit from the most?
I think the word I would use to describe myself is adaptable. In many leadership positions that I've held previously, I have found that even in COVID, in the last previous position that I had, it challenged me to think outside the box. It challenged me to push myself and to challenge myself in everything that I did. So what I realized quickly is that the best way to approach this is to be strategic. Do not be frivolous in any venture that I undertake. I like to think it through, come up with a plan, and put my best foot forward in that position. So to answer your question again, it is adaptability, which I feel like is something that we should have, especially moving forward in our generation that is technologically advanced, so that we're not staggered and we're not left behind. And I promise you, and I promise my Panthers, that I will be the advocate for them. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And we wind down at this time with a candidate for Hall Chair of WJC Campus. This person is Samantha Williams. She's closing the curtains for us this evening. It's been such a pleasure having you all join us. But at this time, we welcome Samantha Williams. Samantha, welcome.
Good evening, sir, and thank you very much.
You're welcome. Given the fact that you're the sole candidate, you have 2 minutes to make your presentation. And if there are queries and questions, we'll ask you to make yourself available to answer those.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So here I begin. Sheryl Sandberg said, and I quote, "Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. This says a lot about who I am and what I am about." Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Samantha Williams, and I am vying for the position of the UWI Western Jamaica Campus All of Residents Chairperson. My vision statement for this academic year is to be an effective leader to my constituents, that they themselves become well-rounded, confident, and responsible individuals who aspire to achieve full potential. While my mission statement states to collaborate with the All of Residents advisor and administrators for the improvement of students' life on all, to provide students with valuable learning experiences, and to be the voice for my constituents when finding practical solutions for all issues. My goals for this academic year includes, but are not limited to bridge the gap between the Western Jamaica Campus All and those in Mona, to build a strong and stable relationship with other All Chairpersons in Mona, and to foster partnerships for the betterment of our students, to advocate and represent, to be innovative, efficient, and effective in my leadership as the UWI Western Jamaica Campus All of Residents Chairperson, to rebuild a strong yet stable relationship with the Office of Student Financing, with the Office of Student Services and Development, and the all administrative team, to improve students' apathy in all activities, to put in place a big sister, big brother mentorship program, to create an alumni body for sponsorship, to continue the Shoplock grant, but to seek sponsorship so that more students can benefit and possibly to increase the grants, to do a monthly newsletter where students are up to date with what is happening in the Hall of Residence, and finally, to update the UWI Mona Western Jamaica campus Hall of Residence Constitution. In closing, just like Ralph Nader, I will start with the premise that the function of leadership is to produce more leaders, not more followers, and through my actions, my vision statements, my mission, and my goals, I genuinely hope to achieve such. I thank you.
I thank you. Samantha, I was concentrating on saying something else, but my apologies. Thank you so much for the position, for the points you've made, and for the passion in which you've poured into your speech. Samantha, if you could identify the one character trait that you have that is going to benefit your constituency in the upcoming academic year, what would that be?
That would be effective communication, sir. Okay. And the reason for this is because, honestly speaking, with effective communication, I can rebuild the relationship we once have with not just the Office of Students Services and Development, but with the administrative staffs and with the Hall of Residence Advisor. With that, I strongly believe that all the other goals I have can easily be fulfilled.
And finally, what is the one activity that you plan to get done this year? Even if challenges happen and others won't get done, you're committed to getting this one thing off the ground. Could you share that with us?
Yes, sir. That is to rebuild all the relationships we once had with administration, the Office of Students Finances, the Office of Student Services and Development, and to try my very best to ensure that all the students' welfare in relation to finances, food, and other stuff is provided for them and that they're comfortable.
Okay, thank you so very much. I'll do a last check in the chats to see what's there. Okay, I think we are clear on that. Ladies and gentlemen, it's certainly been a production. A whole lot of work would have gone into this. This work would have started some 3 or 4 weeks ago, if not longer. And we're now at the home stretch, but a whole lot of work would have gone into this. The Guild of Students, Mr. Jovan Neal, who is the manager for the Guild office, the returning officer, Mr. Bertram Anderson, and his team, who would have worked hard to make it possible for this multimedia thing to be happening at this time. And this is just part 1 of part 2. We return tomorrow at 12 noon for the executive positions, for the faculty and executive positions as well. So looking forward to seeing you there. Thanks so much for the way in which you conducted yourself this evening and for the way you would have utilized technology to pose the questions. Please pass the word on to those who will join us tomorrow. We would appreciate equal good behavior, equal appropriate behavior. We love the passion you've poured in, but yet still the sort of professionalism that you exhibited. That is certainly the UWI way. Again, thanks for participating. Thanks for showing up in spite of all the technological issues and challenges I'm sure that you may have. And that's it for the rest of the evening. Take good care of yourselves. This time, I don't know if there's anyone on the technical team who may have any further comments. But if so, please indicate. Other than that, it's good evening.